goes on the road.
Speaking of favorite teams, let's talk about my sons. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, obviously look good in the AFC. Who's going to perhaps stand in their way?
Yeah, they were really good until they got here and only scored 9 points in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay. Been to the last 2 Super Bowls, trying to get to 3 in a row. They're the favorite, but folks around Lake Erie, Buffalo, Cleveland, both of those teams are really good and have a chance. Tennessee also has a chance in the AFC. There are several good teams in the AFC, but Kansas City might even be a little bit better than they were at the end of last year.
If Mike Tirico were a gambling man, which Mike Tirico is not, we should point out, who would you bet on? Who are we going to see in the Super Bowl come February?
I've got a feeling Green Bay gets back. They were 1 step away last year.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Rodgers will have those guys going. And I like the Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
yeah.
You heard it here first. All right. Always good to see you.
Good seeing you, pal.
Always
Look forward
good
to the
see
season.
you.
Can't wait.
Oh, it's our favorite time of the year. Mike Tirico will be watching tonight. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, football night in America. The big game here on NBC and, of course, on Peacock as well. Mr. Roker, did you want to say hello to your dear friend?
I love you.
I don't even need to say it anymore. You know already. So
I know.
Tokyo, Tampa, the feelings never change.
Can't wait to see you and share a little bourbon.
Hey, Craig.
You got it, pal.
Now that you've been warming
Yes,
up,
ma'am.
tell Tirico to go long, and then you throw the football down. How about that?
Can you want to go? Can you?
You know, I'm tethered. I did see the pass Savannah. I will note it went 15 yards.
Well,
No!
Craig,
Pass
are
went
you
20,
tethered?
25
Maybe
yards,
Mike
Tirico.
control.
Okay, let
Oh yeah, Craig, you go and
it's
let
in-
Mike.
Yeah, there you
Craig,
go.
You
Tirico's
go
going to throw to
long.
me.
Yeah, Craig goes
Tirico's
long.
going to throw to me.
I love it. I love it. Wait, you got it.
Right in the end zone
Live
behind you.
TV.
Live TV.
Hold on, you got Tirico's going to kill
Great
me
Today
after
Show
this.
segments.
Oh,
Well
he's
done.
tethered, too.
You're
He's
tethered.
tethered. Everybody's
Okay.
tethered.
Don't we have wireless
Hey, here we
equipment?
go.
I'm wearing a jacket.
Hey, you know it's 20.
No,
Okay.
You're going to
Here we
go?
go. It's going to be great.
Go for it. Here you go.
Backpedaling.
Yes.
Craig Orr.
Oh!
All the way, all the way.
Keep going, Craig.
Keep running.
Keep going. Time now for our series On the Job. This morning, our own Jacob Soberoff meeting a guy to change at how we look at water.
Hey, Jacob.
At water, good morning, you guys. You know, water is $1 billion industry in the United States of America. We have more choices than ever before. You might think water tastes all the same, but I met a guy who's going to change the way you think about all that. Watch this.
Deep in the Santa Monica Mountains, a private 4-course dinner prepared by an international chef. But it's not a dry Riesling or a silky Pinot that's being paired on the tasting menu this night. It's water. That's right, regular old water. Meet Martin Riza, America's first water sommelier. And yes, that's his real job. He's out to show people that water has a taste, and he's doing it 1 sip at a time.
When I was like 4 or 5 years old, I realized that water has taste to me. Because on vacation time with my parents, I realized that the tap water in every single city in Europe tasted differently to me.
Today, he is a fully certified water sommelier, having written books and devised water menus for restaurants all around the world. What do you want people to know who might look at this and say, water is water, this is a little ridiculous?
When you think first, oh, there's a water sommelier, this has to be the most pretentious job on planet Earth. But the bigger picture is to bring attention to water, to really showcase, hey, there's so much value actually to water. We should not waste it, we should be very precious about it.
Martin's water advocacy has led to appearances worldwide, including on Bill Nye the Science Guy and the Netflix show Down to Earth with Zac Efron.
We all need to drink it. We drink it on a daily basis, but nobody actually talks about it. It's kind of crazy.
We decided to give water tasting a try.
What happens if I need to go pee is the thing I've been thinking about the whole time.
I have to say, this is the most important thing you have to know. So there are restrooms over there and there are restrooms over there.
Okay, here we go. Ooh, there's a little more of a fuller body.
Yes, I love this that you're
that
saying
right?
this. I'm always saying it's the oil of water.
It tastes thicker.
Correct.
What's creating that really full feeling?
This is what Mother Nature does. You can taste now the different soils and minerals what's been in that ground.
So
Here in
depending on
Freebase.
where this was groundwater,
Correct.
it's going to taste different.
Yes, absolutely. Fararel from Italy, from
Okay.
Naples. Cheers. Bubbles.
Cheers.
Now it's natural carbonated water.
Here we go. A light bubble to it.
Very good. They're calling it microbubbles.
So the bubbles occur naturally as well?
Yes.
I didn't ask about smell yet. Wait a minute, do they smell differently or no?
My grandmother survived 2 world wars, and she said when water has a smell, don't drink it.
Don't drink it.
Vichy, the last one today, from Spain.
Vichy. What is that flavor?
Crazy, huh?
Wait a minute. It's something delightful.
I love Vichy.
What is it?
It's a lot of sodium is in this water.
Salty
So
water.
it's slightly salty.
I knew it. So it's like, instead of drinking one of those flavored sparkling waters everybody's drinking these days, that almost takes the place of that.
And that's what I think is amazing, that Mother Nature already creates taste.
So no
in
need
water.
to have artificial.
You don't need to.
You are
Would you
flipping
able
my
to do
world
this?
upside down when it comes to how I think about water.
Everybody says like it's almost like a life-changing experience.
Martin, thank you very much.
Absolutely, and it's right over there.
Yeah, I gotta pee.
I really did have to go to the bathroom. I have to admit, that's a lot of water to drink. You know, you guys, there's over 100 water sommeliers worldwide. Martin is actually certifying people right now to do his job. And one thing I want to tell you is an admission to make. Today is Noah, my son's first day of school. I'm just going to fill it up with filtered water from the tap.
Okay. Like that's just...
Hey, so Jacob, if you go to a water tasting, what do you drink to clear your palate?
I asked the same question, Al. He said, water will clear your palate. Just stick with the water and then water and more water.
I was hoping you would say vodka.
I know, right? Do we have something special here? Or is it just water?
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts. Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It is time for our series Ready, Set, September as we get rolling into another school year. Fall happens to be the perfect time to take a look at your morning routine, maybe press the reset button and make your day a little better.
I feel like a lot of us are talking about this. We asked 3 women with very different lifestyles how they kick off their morning. Take a look.
I typically wake up around 5:15, 5:30, depending on the day. And depending how many times I hit snooze.
Right now I'm at 8 a.m. I'm waking up fine, but the goal is to get to at least 7 a.m.
Every day. Like when I get up at 5:30, I am talking to myself and saying, you need to get up. This is good for you. Get your gym clothes on and your day will be better. The most important time for me is when I'm sipping on my cup of coffee. That's the one thing that I look forward to. The other thing that I do, I use aromatherapy in the shower. I get that energizing feeling when I'm smelling something good.
I really just love an ice cold glass of water. I think that really gets me refreshed. Also putting on my sunscreen. I'm like telling my brain, I'm going outside right now.
Starting my morning with a workout routine has completely changed my life as far as my confidence. All of the workouts that I do are from my living room. So even if I go to the gym, that is not going to get me out of bed as much as doing one of the classes from my living room.
A goal of mine would be to be able to walk around campus a little bit so that I can kind of have a breather, like a mind break between studying, sleeping, and then going back to studying.
I have lost 130 pounds almost exactly in the last year and a half. I'm always looking to change my routine a little bit as I get a little bit comfortable, just to keep pushing myself to grow and challenge myself a little more.
I find that it's important for me on the days when I have my me time, I'm just a better person in general.
I'm feeling motivated. I love these ladies. Here to help us out is Liz Baker Plosser. She's the author of Own Your Morning, Reset Your AM Routine to Unlock Your Potential.
Yeah, she's also the editor-in-chief of Women's Health Magazine, and she has great arms, which we've been looking at. Liz, you haven't always been a morning person, which kind of surprises me.
Which shows we can all change.
Yes, exactly. This is true. I think my parents and siblings are laughing somewhere in the Midwest right now, because I was the person who could not unglue my head from my pillow. And now I am like the ultimate morning person, up at 5:17.
5:17.
We need to live here for a minute.
Yes.
Why do you pick that lucky number?
Okay, everyone asked me this. So a couple of reasons. Number one, 7 is my lucky number. Okay. And I like to start my day with that energy. Why not? I was born on April 7. 7 was on my soccer jersey. So it's just a great energy to start the day
I
with.
kind of love that, but also it's a random number.
It's a random number, exactly. And that makes it easier for me to pop out of bed and not press the snooze button over and over. But I do want to quickly say, this book is not about you have to get up at 5 a.m. like I do. And I know you guys are early birds because of your work. It's really about making the most of your morning, finding the things that make you happy and fill up your life, and then implementing the science-backed, expert-based tips throughout the book to bring those to life every single morning so you can have the best day possible.
Well, it's like you start your day. Like you're setting your intention for the day.
Exactly.
You get up, you got your time right. So what other things do you do to sort of nourish yourself so that your day works the way you want it?
So for me, I like to sweat in the morning. As we were discussing, I'm a little bit hardcore about it. I love kettlebells and I love going outside for a jog. But any movement for your body is great. It could be a 10-minute walk. It could be a stretch on your living room rug. Yes, some yoga.
And it's good advice to meet somebody if you can. I know it's early, but then you're accounted for.
100%. Yeah, you're accountable. And I love that you said that, because that makes you get outside of your front door, and exposing yourself to some sunlight and fresh air early on is really good for you. And it's going to naturally make you more alert and awake and boost your mood.
I like the idea of setting clothes out. It sounds so basic and easy, but I stammer around. If I don't have my outfit out,
and then you might not work out.
Yes, just put it there and let's go.
Same. I am like a raccoon in the early morning, like squirreling through my dresser drawers.
Yeah.
So I set it out the morning before, down to what socks am I going to wear, what sneakers. I pull it all out. And my daytime outfit too.
Yes.
We learned through a study that it takes 17 minutes on average for you to choose your outfit every single morning. So if you can do that the night before, you've got almost 20 minutes right there.
Even in elementary school, my mom made us do that.
Lay out
your
She was smart. She was
the night
onto
before
something.
because she just was like, we'd want the mornings to be hassle-free.
Exactly.
Guys, we want more.
Yeah.
We want more, but good news, we can get it.
And it's in that book.
Own Your Morning. If you want to read it too, you can go to today.com/shop.
How do you own your mornings?
You know what? Mornings are my time.
Yeah.
It's the only time I get where I'm by myself.
Who
I
has
own
the
it.
best-
I own my morning.
Tell your routine.
3 o'clock, alarm goes off. 3:01, shower, right in, no snooze, in, suds up, downstairs, hot tea, lemon, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it.
I feel like you're doing a TikTok dance.
My kid's a note, okay? And then I have to do a map because I have to hide the notes. It's exhausting.
Why did you start that?
I'm not done.
Why did you start
Journal.
that? Wait, nobody even has a routine. I read a book that
We're going to see you tomorrow. We got another big morning on Today.
Have a great Thursday.
Welcome to Today All Day. I am so excited to share some of my favorite stories with you. I've interviewed so many empowering change makers, amazing moms, and even a few of my own family members through the years. I hope you enjoy these stories as much as I do and learn a little something along the way.
Let's
talk about Tyra Banks for a moment. World-renowned model, TV personality, writer, producer, and mom. While the supermodel has become a household name, not many people know the supermom who raised her. It's time for you to meet Carolyn London.
With her head
nervous.
She got a head rag and roll.
Hi, stage mom.
You know your lines, right?
To start, you have 2 kids. Tell us a little bit about each of them.
Well, my firstborn is Devin. He's a curious anthropological bookworm.
Okay.
But at the same time, the life of the party. Tyra, on the other hand, is the creative. She would look at TV commercials when she was in elementary school, and she would say, now, you know, if they had put that hamburger on a different kind of plate and then had that girl walk over and pick it up, it was like, what are you doing? You're dissecting commercials?
Now take me back to the thick of those early years. What was it like for you?
I got divorced when Tyra was 5 years old. And so I became a single mom. When you look back and you think, how did I do it? And did it not in a negative mindset, but in a positive mindset. I raised both of my children with this saying that I would say, look to the other side. It's not about where you are now, but where you want to go, and envision yourself there.
Tyra's brand, a lot of it is authenticity, and I think that's why people gravitate towards her. And so you see this, especially young kids now, they see this beautiful model, they see this woman on television, and she's very honest about the fact that she dealt with bullying as a child, and that, you know, she learned, you know, a lot of that insecurity, you know, they called her a giraffe, or they called her an ugly duckling. Where was that girl versus this model? Like how do we reconcile the two?
You know, you see how tall she is. She's 5'11", and she had a growth spurt, and it was the craziest thing ever. She grew 6 inches in a few months.
But how did you help her get through that? I mean, middle school years can be tough for a lot of kids.
What I did was I concentrated less on her appearance and more on her abilities and her character. We would take trips to the bookstore, art exhibits, the museum, because those are the things that she really loved doing. Another thing that I strongly believe in is being open, honest, and truthful with your children. So they knew that they could come to me for anything, and I mean anything.
Was there a train trip from like LA to San Francisco where you talked about the birds and the bees, so she couldn't run anywhere, you were on a train?
She couldn't get off the train. That was the birds and the bees. I told her that I wanted her to know everything. I did not want her to end up like me. I was a teen mother. I had my son when I was 18 years old, and I had him out of ignorance. So I said, I want you to know what I didn't. And I put her on that train, and I told her everything.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh, yes. With Xfinity X5. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
So tell me then about your at-home photography business. I find this fascinating.
I was working as a biological photographer, a medical photographer. The photographs that are taken of the patients were used for continuing medical education, or they went into medical textbooks. And then I had a friend who worked in the fashion industry. She called me one day and she said they had an assignment, and I did it and was very successful and got rehired. In the process of doing that, Tyra would sometimes come with me on my photo assignments. A lot of the models that I was working with would say, have you ever thought about her being a model? And I was like, oh, please. So one day she came to me and she goes, Mom, maybe this is something I should look into. So I said, okay, you go and you do your research and you tell me what you find out about that industry. And she came back a week later and she told me, this is a go-see.
So now fast forward in time, she gets a scout call that she should go to Paris. When did you get involved as her manager? Like, how did you say, you know what, this is gonna be something, I need to be involved?
She was accepted at 5 colleges. She decided to go to Loyola Marymount in Los Angeles. That is when I got that call. I told her that I would support her in whatever decision she made because it's not my life, it's hers. But the one thing that I did say, once again, you are starting a business. You are the commodity. So you are going to study, you are going to know that business inside out before you step on any airplane. She looked at videotapes of runway models through the ages, and she said, you know what? Every single one of them has a signature walk. And I said, well, looks like we need to work on a Tyra walk. So that's what we did.
And boy, did she ever, because we know Tyra's walk.
She had almost immediate success. So most girls who are, 17 years old going into Paris, the agency told us they usually get, 4 or 5 fashion shows. Tyra was booked for 24, and that is where everything went crazy. Then the press started following her. What is your name? Where do you come from?
What did that feel like as a mom to see that around that swirl around your child?
It was so scary, Chanel. It was really, I basically just stepped in and said, from now on, you don't book things, you just do it through me. I didn't really realize that I was managing her. I was just taking care of my child.
She was the first Black woman on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue cover. One of the first Black models to sign a contract with Victoria's Secret. How does it feel as her mom, or how did it feel back then?
I got a phone call from the president of IMG Model, and he goes, your daughter is going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I just sat still, just quiet, and I thought to myself, she did it. She said, I'm not going to let them tell me that a Black woman can't sell magazines. It was a feeling of accomplishments as a mother instilling that much in your child, to know that she's truly a trailblazer.
Could you exhale then? Had you already exhaled? I mean, because it's almost like it's such a storm.
You know what? She didn't give me a chance to exhale ever, to this day. It just keeps going. It just keeps rolling.
Tyra's now a mom herself. What has it been like to watch your child become a mom?
I waited a long, long time for that. When she finally decided that she wanted to do that, she had a difficult time, and I went through that with her. But when she finally did it, it was life-altering for me. I'm really happy for her. I wanted her to have another one, but she said no.
Don't push it, Carolyn. What is the one piece of advice or words of wisdom you would pass along to other moms?
I believe that to be truthful and honest with your children, create a relationship where they feel comfortable enough to come to you for anything. I think that's so important. I take my greatest pride in being mama, just being mama.
I'm giving you a hug again. You were so good. I could talk to you for 5 hours.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
A bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh yes. With Xfinity X5. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
To find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Hi, Chanel. How are you?
Come. Okay, so let's start with the early years. Take me back. How did you get through it with practices, homework, cooking, all of that? How did you do it?
I didn't think about it. I just did it. They had goals in mind. I saw them working so hard, and they never, ever complained. Never said, I don't want to go. And in my mind, they were going to be this. And it was a lot of naysayers saying that, they're not going to make it. But I never thought they wouldn't.
You called Venus and Serena the girls. Mm-hmm. What was their dynamic like? Serena was the little sister, but they're still pretty close in age, 15 months apart? Mm-hmm. What was their dynamic like as kids?
Well, Serena, believe it or not, was quiet, and Venus was more boisterous and talkative, actually. And I began to see that change when they got older. And Serena did everything that Venus did.
Tell me about the decision to move the family from Compton to Florida?
Florida.
For tennis?
Well, it was just a decision in regards to coaching and getting, a better facility and getting out of Compton, because it was kind of bad. It was really bad. Because I always, before they went out to practice, I always tell you, if you hear anything duck, I mean, not duck, but hit the ground. That was the standard rule.
That's real.
That's real.
So we talk about, you think about parents who have concerns, but that's life or death concerns when they're just trying to play tennis. Were you a coach as well to them?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the line between coach and parent?
On the court and then at home. And being firm. My yes mean yes and my no mean no. And they know I meant it.
Give me your words of wisdom for parents listening right now who have young athletes.
Whatever they do well, don't mess with it. If it's natural, leave it alone. Don't try to perfect it. They'll perfect it themselves. And let them be a kid. Let them play. And when you're coach on the court, not at home.
What do you mean by that?
When they come home, let it be a place where it's family.
Do you look back at those times? There's some moms who miss it. They want to go back to it. Others say it was a great time, but I'm glad, it is what it is. Do you miss those times?
No.
You said that
I
really
don't miss
quickly.
because you teach, at least I taught my kids to grow up and be self-sufficient and not to come back here to me. They'll be able to take care of themselves and they'll be strong enough.
So then when you're sitting on the sidelines, what's going through your mind? Because you know the game.
Well, I'm watching their techniques mostly, but before they get on the court, I'm watching their mental here.
How important is the mental aspect?
It's so important. And I see a lot of people go out there and not mentally there, but it is so important because you have to believe that you can do something before you can do it.
Do you feel it when there's so much pressure on them sometimes? Are you able to take it away? Do you know what I mean?
I learned to pull it back and just look at it for what it is. It's a game. Someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose.
But if she has a tough match, do you leave her alone afterwards if she's upset? We can think of specific games where she was upset. The U.S. Open is coming back around. Do you leave her alone after something like that?
You just leave her alone. Don't say nothing.
How did you learn that? Just over the years? Or?
I just learned it. I don't know. I just never did it. I just never did it. Don't tell them what you should have did and what they should have did. That will drive them crazy. You just have to leave it alone.
Both of the girls have such a platform at this point. It almost, to me, transcends tennis.
Mm-hmm.
They take their gift, they take their platform, and they're using it for all sorts of things.
When you can help somebody else, or you see something that you did that helps someone else be better, that's the best than anything in the world.
When Serena talked about, she has learned to embrace who she is. She talks about the body shamers and people saying, she looked like a man. And she said, you know what? That's not who I am. We're curvy, we're strong, we're muscular.
Mm-hmm.
Where did she get that from?
It took her a moment because she thought she had to look like everybody else, we're all made different. We all have different looks. And if you really look at everybody's beautiful. And one size don't fit all.
You've read this, but this open letter that just grabbed our hearts from Serena after she had the baby. She says, thank you for being the role model I needed to endure all the hardships that I now regard as challenges, ones that I enjoy. I hope to teach my baby, Alexis Olympia, the same and have the same fortitude you have had. I love you dearly. Your youngest of 5, Serena.
That was really sweet. I think I had a little cheer for that one. And they call me tough.
Favorite moment of this wild ride so far that you guys have had together as a family?
I know one was the time when they both told me different times that they loved their life. One year, Venus came to me, she said, Mom, I love my life. Because sometimes you wonder if you're doing the right thing. I was thinking, I said, I hope I did the right thing. And then the next year, Serena came and said the same words. So that was a big relief.
What would you say to raising strong girls?
Kids learn from you. Help them understand that they have to love their neighbor. You have to be courteous, you have to be kind. That's part of strength, because it's easy to go and jump and be belligerent. That's easy. It's hard, it's very difficult to be kind to someone that's not being kind to you.
Do you think they're close to retirement?
Oh, I wish.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning, welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
exactly.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
So we set the stage. Tell me the names of your sons, who they play for, and their ages.
JJ plays for the Houston Texans. He's 30. And Derek is out in California. He just turned 27. And he's married and has a baby and plays for the Los Angeles Chargers. And Trent, or TJ as some people call him, the baby, he's in Pittsburgh, plays for the Steelers. And he's 25.
Take me back, let's say 20 years ago when you were in the thick of it. You were a young mom. So how old were you when you had your first?
19.
You were 19 years old.
Actually, I was 19 when I was pregnant, 20 when I had him.
Tell me a little bit about back in the day.
A lot of people say with 3 boys, boy, it must have been really hard and they must have fought all the time and this and that. And I'm like, honestly, they're maintenance-free kids pretty much. They just played, you know? They played outside, played basketball, any kind of ball game.
Were you athletic?
No.
Well, that's encouraging to me. There's hope for my kids.
My husband played hockey, so the kids always came to watch him play, and then it was a natural thing to get him on ice skates.
I read something where you're just giving birth. Was it to TJ? Tell me about that.
We gave birth, and JJ had practice, so we went right from the hospital to the rink.
That's crazy.
But it was our life. That's who we were. We were going home, and I remember saying, okay, what time can I leave? Like, is it 24 hours? Because I just needed to get home. We had to get to a hockey practice.
I can't believe that.
And they were big. JJ and TJ had broken collarbones because they were so big when they came out. And their feet were off of the birth certificate, you know, the thing that they put the feet prints, so I should have known then.
Wait, they like extended off of the paper? Never heard of that before. Well, speaking of which, they're growing boys. I read one of them or some of them, did they have double lunch? I mean, they like to eat, didn't
Since
they?
2nd grade. I had to call the school to say, is there a child there that can't afford lunch? Because I think my child is putting it on our account. She laughed and said, oh no, Mrs. Swan, he's actually eating them. And I said, really? He's eating them both? And she said, yes. And then they'd come home from school about 3:30, 4 o'clock and have dinner. And then at 8 o'clock at night, they'd have another full dinner.
2 dinners?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So then how did you do it? I mean, because you also worked, right?
The kids would each get part of the grocery list. So we did the grocery shopping together, unpacked it together.
It was all about teamwork at home, too. You were certainly a believer in chores.
Yes.
Would you say you were strict?
Very. My husband and I both were very strict. We had a chore chart, and it changed every week. You know, it was just on an Excel spreadsheet, so I could change up who did what chores that week. They had to put their laundry away. If they didn't do it properly, I would take the drawer out and dump it in the room, and they would have to redo it.
You were hardcore.
Oh, I was hardcore.
But this just goes to show, it seems like sometimes maybe kids need the order. I don't know.
Yes. I would tell them, I said, well, if you want Dad and I to come to your practices and come to your games to support you, I have to have help around the house. That kind of sank into them too, like, well, yeah, that's probably not fair.
Did you ever feel like, I've got this?
For the most part, I'm just so organized and detail-oriented that it was pretty good, but I'll never forget a time when the kids were sick when they were young and John was working and I couldn't get TJ to sleep. And I had to call a neighbor and just say, can you please come and hold the baby so I can get Derek to bed? And I just don't know what to do.
But there's a lesson in that too. Sometimes you have to know when to just call and get some help.
Yes, absolutely.
Is there ever a moment with any of them that you thought, you know what, this could happen?
First of all, just getting them a college scholarship was amazing, and the opportunity to play at that next level. And I remember telling each of them, there's another child who's going to be just as good or just a hair after you, so don't blow this opportunity. You know, take every opportunity, play every down like it's your last one, and if you're not ready to do that, then move aside and let the next player in.
If you were to give any words of wisdom, is there any advice or things you would say to do that could help or that you found helpful?
Don't just hone in on one sport and make it not fun anymore, because you'll burn out if you start too young. I mean, you see a child from when they're 5 to 10 to 15 to 20, how different they are. So you might be great at something at 8, but then all of a sudden by 14, you're like, now this is what I love and this is what I'm good at.
We're right in the middle of the NFL season. Your boys, like I said, they're playing for 3 teams in 3 different parts of the country. When do you decide when to hop on a plane? Like, how do you have a flow chart with that?
I have an Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, you do? I was just kidding.
Of course I do.
First of all, this, if I didn't know any better and I just dropped from Mars, I would think that this is a team. Look at this, right?
Right.
Who came up with this?
Yes. A friend of ours down in Texas had it made the first year when it was just Derek and JJ, and then added TJ. So I said, thank gosh, these logos kind of just go. And some people kind of do a double take at first, like, is that the Texans logo? Wait a minute, what's in the middle? And then they see the back.
Let me see the back.
And they said, well, we have, the Texans, the Chargers, and the Steelers. And they said, what should we do for the W? And of course they said the Badger, the Wisconsin Badgers. So it's all just tied in.
There.
Exactly.
So what happens if they're both playing each other?
Then I hold Logan in my lap so I don't have to clap.
That's a good one.
That happened twice this year.
Really?
And it was very challenging.
How do you do that?
It's very hard. They step out on the field and I know only one is going to come out winning the game and the other one is going to be bummed. And so I just sit there and I hold Logan and I don't clap either way, and I just, it's very hard. I always tell each of them before the game, do not hurt your brother.
That's a good one. What a mom would say. That's another piece of it is the injuries. Did that bother you as they were growing up, or did it hit you once you got to the NFL? These are big guys.
And it never hit me, honestly, until JJ got hurt the first time. People would always say, aren't you nervous? I'm so nervous for the game. And I look at him like, well, you're a fan and I'm a mom. I don't know why you're nervous, and I would say, no. I said, my boys train really well. I feed them really well. I know that they're really well prepared. So no, I'm not really nervous at all about that. Then they got hurt. And I remember sitting in the stands crying. It was just weird for me to know that he was injured out there playing hurt. And then, people would pile on top of him and I'm like, get off.
That's that part where everybody holds their breath.
Yes.
Everybody just waits. Do you worry about the press, or do you not even have to deal with that part of it?
I don't. When people say negative stuff, I totally understand and believe that they don't know my kids. Because it's true. Look at when JD was drafted and they booed him. That broke my heart. So that was a time that you could bring me to tears and say, how dare you? You don't know my son.
So tell me about this foundation. Most people start foundations in their, 50s and 60s after they've built companies. I don't know. But he started this foundation pretty early, right?
In college.
In college. Who starts a foundation in college?
He was a junior.
Wow.
And he called and my husband said, no.
He said no?
No, don't do it. Because he said, will you help me do this foundation? And I was still working, so my husband was like, no, we can't do this. And he's in college. He doesn't know what he's doing.
What made him want to do that?
The notoriety was really getting to, at Madison, it was unbelievable how the fan base was. And he was playing crazy good. And he said, you know what? While I can do something with this, why don't I do something good? Started just selling those little wristbands.
Wow.
And we did it out of our home, and I still run the foundation out of my home.
Let's talk about Hurricane Harvey.
This morning, an unfolding disaster in one of America's biggest cities, Houston.
With the rain that's fallen already and the rain that's to come, it's shaping up to be one of the most catastrophic flooding disasters in U.S. history.
We are seeing so many powerful images of hope and heroism that remind us that even in the worst catastrophe, the best can come out in people.
Like football star J.J. Watt's fundraising campaign, which has now collected more than $5 million for relief efforts.
If you can donate something small, if you can donate something big, whatever you can donate, please donate to help these people out.
It ended up raising more than $37 million.
More than 41.
$41 million.
So he called and said, this is what I'm thinking of doing. What do you think? And I said, it's a great idea.
What were they doing? Did he ask were they doing it online, donations? Like, what did he do for people who don't know?
Online and checks. People were mailing checks in. I was traveling and I had to get 3 volunteers to come to my home 3 days a week. We had checks stacks this high.
People trusted him. What does that say about him as a man and frankly his leadership?
It says a lot, and that's one thing that we're most proud of with the foundation as well. We're always telling people where the money is going, down to the penny. I always go back to, again, saying they're maintenance-free kids. They just are really trying to always help people and do the right thing, so people did trust them, and it does come down to that.
In addition to football, people say, your mother raised you right. When you hear something like that, that has to feel good.
It does. It does. Because at the end of the day, each of them are just great human beings, great mentors, great men, great friends, brothers, sons. They're really good people, and that means more to me than, I know we all want a Super Bowl, but I really want them to be good people. Raising kids is the best gift I've ever received in my whole life.
Made me cry. That was so good. You're so good.
Hey, Today All Day, we've got a great show for you on this Thursday morning, including an all-day exclusive chat you can only see here. Let's kick it off with Pop Start. We check in with Carson, who's covering all the latest buzzy headlines. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Pop Start.
Yes. Thank you very much, Uncle Al. First up, The Many Saints of Newark. A new trailer is out now for the highly anticipated Sopranos Prequel, the latest film look at the film focusing on future mob boss Tony Soprano's relationship with his uncle Dickie Moltisanti, who Sopranos fans will remember was Christopher's father from the series. It's got a great cast. Alessandro Nivola playing Uncle Dickie. Of course, James Gandolfini's real-life son, Michael, taking on the role of Tony. Here's a new sneak peek.
I want to do a lot more.
The best things in life are free.
I try to set an example for my nephew.
Give them to the birds and bees.
Anthony got kicked out of school. I went through all that trouble, and for what?
I'm always being accused. You gotta be good.
That's what I want.
I want to do whatever I can to help the family.
Pain comes from always wanting things. But what do I know? I'm a murderer.
Later this month, we're going to get to speak to Michael Gandolfini live right here on Today about taking on his father's most iconic role. And our own Harry Smith will get the scoop straight from The Sopranos creator, David Chase. That looks great.
Leslie Odom Jr. in it, too.
Wait to see it, yeah. Next up, Carrie Underwood and Jason Aldean, the two country music superstars, have teamed up for their latest single, If I Didn't Love You. And in the new music video for the track, Carrie and Jason take the stage at Nashville's Schermerhorn Symphony Center. Here's a little bit.
Come on.
Yeah, it's a great song. Great song.
So
Beautiful looking videos you can see there.
Wow.
Next up, speaking of music, Kings of Leon, the Grammy-winning rock stars are about to go where no band has gone before, outer space. Huh? Well, sort of. An NFT performance of their song Time in Disguise is going to be brought aboard the all-civilian Inspiration 4 space mission next week. NFT, or non-fungible tokens, are strings of code linked to digital art. Here's a sneak peek at that performance. When the Inspiration 4 returns to Earth, the NFT played in space will be up for auction to support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. The buyer's going to receive the iPhone 12 used by the crew to play the NFT in orbit. They'll also get to meet the Inspiration 4 crew plus the band Kings of Leon. To find out more about the auction, they've got a bunch of other cool stuff too for a great cause. Just go to today.com. Next up, Jennifer Lawrence. The Hollywood baby boom continues, with the Oscar-winning actress Lawrence's reps confirming to Today that she and her husband are expecting their first child together. The couple got married back in 2019. Even though Jennifer does tend to keep all the details of her personal life pretty private, she did tell Entertainment Tonight back in 2019 that marrying Cook, her husband, was a very easy decision. So big congratulations going out to them. All right, here we go, Uncle Al. Our tailgating food bracket. Savannah, what did you do? We tallied up the numbers. Thousands of fans cast their vote on today.com for their favorite game day snacks, the finalists. Savannah, you're lobbying against buffalo wings, which you call bones with sauce.
Oh, no.
Yes, I'm
Nachos beat out wings 60 to 40.
Done.
Nachos moves on. They go head-to-head with cheeseburgers, of course, in the finals. Mozzarella sticks didn't have a prayer against the classic burger.
So
here
who
we go.
wins it? Who wins it?
67% of the cheeseburgers. Nachos versus cheeseburgers in the finals.
Nachos gotta win.
Has to be nachos.
I cannot believe you bounced bones with sauce.
What do you like in the matchup?
Everything I believe in is just destroyed. I'd have to go with nachos.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm going to go cheeseburger, yeah.
I'm going nachos.
It feels a little apples and orange because nachos are
But
kind of...
Nachos are a snack.
Right. If I'm at a game and I have the choice,
How many votes did Bones with Sauce get?
How dare you? You want to just rub it. 40%, I believe. 60 to 40 they lost.
Wow.
So it's kind of a
Not
blowout.
even close.
Sad day. Wow. Flags at half.
Sorry, Bones.
All right, you want to vote for your favorite? Go to today.com/food and we will have a winner.
Coming up on Today Talks, the third hour dishes on all the latest fall deals after this.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes. There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are.
Welcome back. Today on the third hour, to buy or not to buy? That is the question. The gang answers as they break down the latest fall shopping tips. Check it out.
It is time for our Consumer Confidentials. We head into fall. There are some great deals today.
Yes. Our investigative and consumer correspondent, Vicki Nguyen, is here to tell us what to buy and what we should wait on. Vicki, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
I'm like selfishly taking notes here. So let's jump right in here. So many brands and online retailers, they had their Labor Day sales last weekend, but they've extended a lot of those sales into the month. So what should we buy now?
Yes, this is good. So if you were out enjoying Labor Day, which I hope you were, you still have a chance to save money on some big items. So Amazon, Walmart, Dyson, Zappos, Best Buy, just to name a few, are actually keeping their prices low for this week. You want to get online and shop for electronics, housewares, clothing. That is on sale right now. For example, Amazon has a 50-inch LED high-definition television for $299. That's really good. Wow. Best Buy's video games, those are all more than 60% marked off right now. So if there are certain things that you need, even back to school supplies at this last minute, get online, check it out.
So we're heading into fall. Would we be seeing like summer clothing and stuff like that going on sale now?
Yes, for sure, summer clothing. The other summer items I want you to pay attention to, remember when outdoor furniture was scarce? We couldn't find a matching umbrella and a lounge chair. Well, now all of that stock is starting to come in.
Of course.
Exactly, of course, as it's getting colder. Forbes says Wayfair overstock, check Costco and All Modern. Those are good spots to go for the outdoor furniture, but you may not get the deals that you normally would at this time because of a foam shortage. The other items you're looking at on your screen there, those are the summer items you really want to scoop up right now. Your grills, your lawnmowers, leaf blowers, air conditioners, school supplies, and then even cheapism. This is Consumer Blog. They're saying garden plants. This is the now. You still have a month to enjoy it. Certain parts of the country, maybe even longer, and this is the kind of time to get those garden plants to spiff up the yard.
So what about appliances? I selfishly need a new washer dryer. Our washer is leaking. Not that you care. But what about large appliances?
So typically the first week of September, Labor Day, that is the time, according to Consumer Reports, where we see the best deals on appliances. The wrinkle this year, semiconductor and chip shortages. So you will have appliance deals. They're just not going to be as good as they were perhaps last year or the year before. So if you can wait a full year, it sounds like you cannot, Chanel. Now is the time to get your large appliances. When it comes to electronics, the best time to buy is really going to be November. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, when you're looking for those electronics. However, if you're an Apple fan, mark your calendar, you probably already have September 14th. That's when they're going to launch all of their new products, probably a new phone. So the older generations will go on sale. That's typically the cycle. So for Apple electronics, September 14th is the day.
It's good to know.
You mentioned those the chips and the semiconductors. What about if you're looking in the market for a car? We've been hearing about car shortages.
Oh my gosh, that is real, and it continues to be a seller's market, whether it's a used car or a new car. We were in the market for a new car. They're actually adding dealer markups. It's unheard of. The best way to get around that if you're buying a new car, and it's the sedans, the SUVs, the trucks that are really in high demand, make sure you compare prices, call at least 5 dealers, and then tell them, hey, I've got this deal. Will you match it? We were able to save thousands of dollars doing that. With used cars, something really important I want to remind people, with everything happening with the floods, those cars are supposed to go to a salvage or a junkyard. That doesn't always happen. Some unscrupulous people will try to sell you a flood car after sort of cleaning it up, putting some lipstick on that pig. Make sure you check the car's vehicle identification number. You can run it through Carfax for free. That's the first step to make sure you're not buying a car that's been flooded. There are some other things you can do to check the electronics. Just go online and look for a list of like, how do I make sure my car wasn't flooded? And that's a good way to make sure you're not buying something that you shouldn't be.
Oh my goodness, that's a good point.
Coming up on Hoda and Jenna, smiles and laughter all around after this.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast. Available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Welcome back. Today on Hoda and Jenna, we are dishing on all the latest news. Plus, Hoda and I go off script, and I mean way off script. Check it out.
So yesterday, I'm doing this podcast that's going to start coming out, and I interviewed this pastor yesterday, and I felt like I learned 1,000 things. But one of the things, because he talked about relationships. Yeah. So he said, whoever you're with right now, if you've been with them longer than 5 years, is a different person than the one you met. So he said you have to reintroduce yourself to your spouse. Because your spouse used to like this and now she doesn't. Yeah. He used to like that, now he doesn't. He's different. So they say there's a new person in front of you, someone you don't know very well. You think you know everything, so you assume. And this guy said that in the mornings, he writes his intentions. And I said, well, what are your intentions? And he's got 4 children. He said, my intentions for the months ahead are to date my wife. Those are my intentions. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, not just date night, because that's, but to literally set an intention. And there was something about that stuck with me, because you always talk about, okay, I'm going to start my day, I'm going to do all these things. And I feel like I have a bunch of stuff I want to do. But imagine if you set an intention in the morning, and your intention was to pay more attention, to date your partner, to be more, to only, this sounds, no white lies.
Yeah. Which is hard.
Right.
Because somebody will say, well, did you like it?
Yeah.
And we're kind of pleasers. We're non-confrontational. We're like, we loved it.
Yes. Now, if it doesn't hurt someone, or maybe it's like, I love this part about it, or there was something amazing, But there was something about him. And he started this church, and he came from it was like a church with no money. Yeah. And he said, okay, congregation, we're going to raise a ton of money today. And everyone's like, oh, good, because we need it, the pipes, everything. He goes, no, we're giving it away. They were like, no, but we need it. We don't have he said, no. We're giving it away. They gave it away, okay? They gave it away. He said he used to be able to imagine the church he would be a pastor in. He was the sound guy who adjusted microphones. He said he could imagine it. He said he saw a huge stadium, and he said, and I could see it. Today, He is at, I think, the old Oklahoma Thunder Stadium.
Wow.
Yeah, with a congregation that's crazy big and he said things just came. The more he gave, the more it came. And we hear it in theory. We're like, it's great. He said, even if you don't have, he said, we gave when we did not have to give, and it all came. Anyway, it was just one of those things that when I was done yesterday, Jen, I finished that interview, I was like, you know when you feel alive
like
and
inspired beyond.
Yes. And I was like, intention. So this morning I was like, okay, my intention.
So what was your intention for today?
So my intention, wait, what did I decide to write down? I had so many that I was thinking about. Oh, it was I wanted to pay more attention. I wanted to be of service today. What else did I write? I can't remember. A bunch of different little things. But those two, one more thing, and then we'll get to our other thing. He said that if you're in a relationship, he said it's like a boat that's out in a big body of water without an anchor. And he said, without a big tidal wave, without any commotion, without any waves, the boat will drift. 4 hours later, the boat will be so far away you'll never be able to see it. Now, nothing big happened. It just drifted. Yeah. So he's basically saying, if you're not anchored in your relationship, even without intention,
that will happen.
You drift away. Yeah. So it's like you have to remind yourself.
Yes.
Bring it here.
And you know what?
Like this is home.
It reminded me, and Maria, our go-to guru, once said this to me, relationship guru. She said, there's proof, there's research that the reasons why you fall in love with somebody are then later, after you've been in love and you've been together forever, are sometimes the things that irritate you about the person.
Yes.
And it's so true, but when you just said you reintroduce, it's like maybe if you let go of the expectation that they're not the same person.
Right.
Like sometimes we were so joyful then. Well, yeah, we didn't have 3 kids and you know what I mean?
Right, everything was different at that time. And it's also just paying enough attention to your spouse to notice they're changing.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
All right, well, you know what else is tonight?
What?
And I know I've been paying attention that Henry's excited about it. It is the NFL kickoff, baby.
Come on. Tom Brady, the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Tampa Bay Bucks, they're hosting.
Oh, yeah. The Dallas Cowboys.
Is that your team? Are the Cowboys your team?
Well, yeah, they're my team.
Okay.
I named my cat Cowboy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Cowboy Bush. He a long time ago. He's now since passed. But the Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott, he is back, baby, after a year of surgeries and ankle injury.
He's had a lot to rehab from, and we're wishing him well.
Yes.
And then
the fans
are back, which is remember last year the stadiums
were empty.
Yeah, they were empty. So anyway, they're expected to go full capacity.
I've just been thinking a little bit about you, and I wish I had a gift for you or something. I meant to get you something, but just because it's your first season without Drew Brees, and I've just been wondering how you're feeling because I know it must be kind of difficult. I was going to get you a little Drew Brees doll.
I have one.
I know you do. You have everything.
I have everything. I love Drew, and it is weird to think of the Saints without him because he's so much a part of like everything that it is. I can't wait to see him. Call the games.
Yeah.
I think he's doing Notre Dame, so I keep looking like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he?
Well, are you going to be okay, you think?
I'm going to be fine.
Okay, I'm glad. Do you think the Saints are still going to win?
The Saints are awesome. They're amazing. They're going to be great. Yeah. It's what we're talking about. When you have like a great foundation, your team does well.
Yeah, their boat hasn't drifted.
Their boat is not drifted.
What you're saying is their boat's still right there.
You can kick off the NFL game coverage begins tonight, 7 p.m. Love the music right here.
Me too.
On NBC and also on Peacock.
Okay, we're Bridgerton fans.
Yes.
And we were a little disappointed, right?
Yeah, Reggae Jean
Page is no longer, he's not returning.
We knew that.
We knew that and we were sad, okay?
Right.
I like it when he's between us. But looks like the door's really closed, locked.
Because, the whole Bridgerton crew's got a group chat.
Right, and he told British GQ, guess what he said? He said he's no longer part of that chat.
He bailed, I respectfully exited.
He didn't want to put them in an awkward situation, he said, where they had to kick me out.
Oh, so he thought he was on the edge anyway, so he jumped instead of got pushed.
I think, let's be honest.
What?
Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm just stuck in a moment.
Remember that?
Okay, yeah, I remember. Imagine being in a group chat that has nothing to do with a movie, but like maybe your family chat or something.
Yeah.
Or something they're talking about a trip that you're not going to. And all of a sudden they're like, who's bringing the paper plates? And you're like, well, I'm not even going to be there. And I'm sure that's what's happening. They were like, who wants to meet for dinner? You know, they're filming.
Like, yeah, it's like a party you're not invited to.
Right. So you aren't a great texter.
No, I'm not. But people just assume I've already bailed on the group chat, I think. But
so they take you. Have you ever been removed?
I've never been. I don't know. I might have. I could have. Do you ever pull yourself out of one?
I haven't, because I don't know how to do that.
So you mean you physically don't know how, or you don't have the courage?
Both.
Okay. All right.
Both. But I just feel like it's kind of rude to be like, she's left the chat.
She's left the chat. It's like when you want to leave a Zoom meeting, but your face isn't there, so you just mute your face and your mic.
We did a Zoom for Hal's preschool, and Henry came in, and he was also on the Zoom, and I was like sitting there really sweaty from a workout. He goes, "Why is your camera on?" I go, "What?" I'm like smiling. He goes, "Why is your camera on? You don't need to have your camera on in the Zoom." I'm like, "Oh, you don't?" But then I had to leave.
Why don't you just leave it on and you could just walk away?
Because that's really rude. But he's like, you can multitask.
You're still. That's the same thing as not listening. You might as well be gone.
Okay.
All right, kids, it's time to go unscripted. There's so much stuff to watch out there.
Yes.
I mean, it's like a sea of things, but Netflix just released a trailer for one of the most star-studded films of the year.
Okay, can we just name the cast, please? Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Blanchett, Tyler Perry, Adriana Grande.
Ariana Grande,
and I know, what did I say? And y'all, Meryl Streep, who plays the president.
This is being described as an end-of-the-world satire, so let's take a peek.
You're here now. Here now. Your breathing is stressing me out.
This will affect the entire planet.
I know, but it's like so stressful. Can I get that one more ice water?
And I'll get 2 more glasses of white wine. And I don't need the judgy face. There's a comet headed directly towards Earth. Do you know how many the world is ending meetings we've had over the last 2 years?
Drought, famine. Hole in the ozone is so boring.
Oh my gosh.
Don't look up. It premieres on Christmas Eve.
By the way, that cast is crazy.
You know what? Can I just tell you what movie I just watched with the girls, and I was disappointed. I'm still kicking myself. And Mila and Puppy are like, why did you let us watch it on a Tuesday?
What was it?
Cinderella. It is so good.
Is that the one, Camila Cabello?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, so many
yes.
people.
Billy Porter.
Billy Porter is the fairy godmother.
Idina Menzel.
Idina Menzel is the evil stepmother.
Oh my God.
Y'all,
it
is
so good.
It is set to current music, current-ish. Like, for example, Material Girl by Madonna. And I'm like, this is Material Girl. And Mila goes, Mom, you don't know this song. This is a new movie. I'm like,
a new movie.
I know this song.
I heard that Janet Jackson's Control is in it.
Rhythm
Nation.
I'm just watching. Just don't watch it.
By the way, what a great way to get our girls to love the music that we love.
100%. In Vogue, Want a Man, Want a Man. Oh, no. Is that
in Vogue.
Salt and Pepper?
Oh,
Want a Man, Want a Man, Want a Man, Want a mighty fine man. Say it again now.
Okay, you want me to say it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And guess what, y'all? There's baby news.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence, who we just mentioned, who was I didn't even recognize her there with the red bangs in that movie.
The nose ring.
But anyway, she
is pregnant.
Has a baby. I thought she already had a baby.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know stuff like
expecting.
this. But her rep says she confirms to People magazine that she's expecting her first child with her husband. And so we're so happy for her.
You know what? That's so great. She always she's someone who keeps her personal life kind of under wraps.
Yeah.
Can we also say congratulations to our pals, Jason Kennedy and Lauren Scruggs. This is the best news. We know they've been trying to have a baby. They've been dealing with a lot of fertility issues. They've been talking about it for, I think, about 5 years, trying to have this baby. But
we're so happy for them. Congrats. Today Talks continues after the break. We have an exclusive chat you can only see here on Today All Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Welcome back to Today Talks and our exclusive content you can only see here on Today All Day. And look who I get to chat with.
Yes, I get to sit with you today. It
Donna,
feels so
what's
good.
going on?
Hoda warmed up the seat for me,
Yes,
so it feels nice.
Nice and warm.
Nice
okay,
and warm.
You just got back from a crazy trip.
I did. Can you tell from my many evil eyes that I'm wearing?
And your tan.
I came back from Greece, and I was thinking about you. You lent me a beautiful dress that I wore several times on the trip. And you know what? It was so great. It was one of those trips where I went by myself. The first week it was with a tour group. I didn't know anyone. The second week I was with a friend. But it was one of those instances where I know you know this, but I feel like I'm growing to learn this, to really go with your gut and make those decisions that your friends might say, well, you're going on a tour group by yourself?
Were people confused by that?
People were like, are you sure? Like, what if the accommodations aren't great? What if you're hanging with 18-year-olds? And I was like, it doesn't matter. I just need that adventurous experience. Have you ever experienced something like that where you feel like you know you're making the right decision, but your friends are kind of like, what are you doing?
100 times a day, but that's why you can't, you got to just listen to yourself,
I
you know,
know,
and try to figure out what's best for you.
But you know, it's so interesting because we work in this amazing environment and in New York City, which is just the dream come true, right? But you're always sort of go, go, go.
Yeah.
And I needed to kind of tap into my soul and reinvigorate that fun and adventurous side of me.
I love that. I love that you got back and we were like, how was it? And you were like, my soul is reinvigorated.
I did
Watch the energy that comes.
Yeah.
And it is true. I do feel like Hoda and I were talking about how resets are so good. And that this is the first of the year. So we're so excited to kind of refresh our show, to have some more fun, like the creativity that comes with taking a moment and change of season. And for anybody, like this week has been like one of those weeks for everybody that has kids that's crazy. We're back to school. It's like eye doctor appointment. It's all of this. But also it's a time to kind of reset your own lives, whether it means like changing a workout. You and I worked out together once.
We did, yeah. We love our workout. And you know, it's true. Sometimes I feel like the beginning of fall is more of a reset than the beginning of January.
I do.
I think we
feel
both
like
feel
the
that
beginning
way.
of fall should be the biggest reset of the year.
So what are you doing to reset yourself,
Well,
personal?
when I commute in the summer, like a longer commute, so I can't work out before work. I have to wake up really early, but I'm waking up earlier to work out. That's one thing. I'm putting none of my kids have phones. They won't get them till they're 27, but not really, but
We'll see
till
about
they're
that.
old.
We'll see
No,
about that.
no, they're not. I'm not a pushover.
Okay.
Just you wait.
Okay, I know.
And I've like read the research. I'm like, definitely not. But anyways, Henry and I do, and we're putting our phones away. Like we're just trying to reprioritize. And I think on the show, Hoda and I are having conversations about fun new things we could do. I know a lot of our team is super creative, and it's just so great. And I think a lot of people are thinking about their families, and back to school is the time to do that.
And being more present too, and I know you do this with your family, really taking that time. I mean, I asked you for photos from the summer, and you don't have that many photos because you're being present.
I know.
And so to take that energy, that summer energy that we've experienced into this new reset, I think that's something everyone
And by
can
the
do.
way, if you looked at my camera line and phone, you would think it's hilarious because it's usually like Poppy taking pictures of Henry and I were saying, if you want to like go on a little bit of a healthy kick, have your 3-year-old take a picture.
No, but she's a good photographer.
Like down on the ground and it's like just your whole body
She's
hanging
getting
out.
that artistic vision out, you know?
Well, Donna, thank you for hanging with me. Love you, love you. And that's it for this episode of Today Talks. Keep watching for more Today all day. All day.
All day.
Thank you, Donna.
Will, it's great to see you. Thanks for doing this, brother.
My pleasure to be here.
So there's a lot to catch up with you on. We got Legos, we got Smartless. I want to know, though, what the last year has been like for you sort of at home. I understand you got a very busy house, a lot of boys running around. How you holding up?
You know, some days are better than others. I'm gonna be honest about that. It's good though, man. It's just you know, more logs on the fire. And so at any given time, I mean, there's a chance that door behind me at any point could burst open, and somebody's gonna come in with, so and so did this, so and so wrecked that. I cut my arm off. You know, whatever. I live in a constant state of fear of what's about to happen next.
So among the many projects you've continued to work on through the pandemic is Lego Masters, which is such a cool show. I watched a couple nights ago the one where they build these incredibly elaborate structures, and then you turn a dial and you just start shaking it till you break it. So for people who haven't watched the show yet, what's sort of the concept, what's the conceit of Lego Masters?
You know, Lego Masters, we started the first season last year. We aired the first season actually in a great time too. We during the pandemic, I don't mean a great time, I mean in the sense that it was a show that I think in a time where everybody had a lot of anxiety, our show is very lighthearted. And it's a show that really tries to celebrate people who are into Lego, which is, you know, that I include myself in that group. And we were able, I was happy that we were able to be a little bit of a respite from what was going on. The show, like I said, it celebrates people who are into Lego and who are Lego builders or who are aspiring real Lego builders. There's a whole community out there, Willie, that not a lot of people know about. A global community of people who are super into building Lego and who build competitively. And you kind of go like, oh, okay. And then when you see what they actually do, you go, oh, okay, these people are really, really good at what they do. And so the first season identified some people around the country who were into it. I think because once people actually saw the show, a lot of great builders came out of the woodwork. And the second season now, we've got all these people who are really, really good at what they do, and they're able to come on and display their skill. And it's not just, you know, you get people who you can say, hey, can you build me a building? Can you build me an animal? Can you build me a hat? Can you build me a castle? Sure. They're not just great sort of artists, but they're also great engineers too, which is great. You know, watching these people build in a way that I think like, I make this joke all the time. I could go to MIT and I still want to be able to build the way these people build. It's amazing. My son is in the other room. He just built this Technic Ferrari over the last 3 days that we bought at this bookstore over here in town. We're out on Long Island. We bought this big Technic thing, and he spent the last few days building this thing. And he's 12, and he had already kind of started to go into what they call the dark ages, where he wasn't building as much as his 10-year-old brother, but he's back into it. And he's in his room, and he's listening to music, and he's building. And then, you know, of course, late last night, where's the other tire? Because his little brother had been playing with the tire, and there's all that stuff. But we're all super into it and talking to each other and building, and it's, I don't know, for us, it's really positive. For me, it's been such a positive thing in my life. And now I've been talking for 7 minutes straight.
No, I hear everything you're saying because I have an 11-year-old son who's about to be 12, and it's the same thing. So, and we didn't appreciate, we thought, oh yeah, you know, you buy him Lego and they play with it and it's a fun thing. But then we realized, oh, he's sitting, first of all, not playing a video game. He's sitting, he's focused, he's learning a little patience, he's doing hand-eye, he's following directions, and then he's seeing that all this hard work ends in this beautiful thing. So I think, whether you're a kid or an adult, by the way, it's just a cool thing to do and can be soothing in some way.
It's very soothing. And you know, first of all, you hit on a great one, which is, and a lot of parents can relate to this, they're not on their screens.
Yeah.
And when my kids are building and they're building with each other, they're not on their screens. I'd way rather them be building all day. You know, obviously you want your kids to be outside as much as they can at certain points, but at least if they're inside and they're building, I'm much happier because they're much happier.
So you kind of touched on this, but you never could have imagined when you were Lego Batman that you were stepping into this world that was actually going to become such a big part of your life.
I mean, frankly, it's such a crazy story. I forget how many years ago this is now, probably almost 15 years ago. I know these guys, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they're great comedy writers. They called me up and they said, hey, we're making a movie called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And I said, great. And so I was going to voice the lead guy, and my ex-wife, Amy Poehler, was voicing the lead female. So these two characters, we recorded a bunch, and then it ended up, the studio was like, no, it's too dark and blah, blah, blah. And we ended up, Amy and I got fired, basically. A couple years later, Phil and Chris called me out of the blue. My agent called and says, Phil and Chris Miller want to ask you something. I'm like, those guys. Fine. And they said, listen, we're so sorry about how all that went down with Cloudy. But we're doing this Lego movie, and we want you to be the voice of Lego Batman. And I remember at the time thinking, like, okay, I don't know what it means, a Lego movie. And the voice of Batman, we hadn't thought about it in that way. Fine. And who knew that was going to start? In fact, years earlier, during this Cloudy with a Chance, that would start this relationship with Lego. We all have a connection. I had a connection as a kid with Lego. I couldn't have imagined as a kid that later on as an adult, I would have this connection to Lego, make all these movies, make the Lego movie, and then the Lego Batman movie, then the second Lego movie, all the while having my own kids, young kids at that same time on this totally different track, being really into Lego and building, and then now doing Lego Masters. We're in our second season and producing the show, and it's all very surreal, to be honest. And the best part is, and like I said, my son building the set, being at a bookstore and going in and just buying Lego. I'm still just a Lego fan and dad of kids who love Lego.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh yes. With Xfinity X5. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
So you're very busy, Lego Masters Season 2 well underway, and obviously so much of your focus is on the Smart List podcast with Mr. Jason Bateman, Mr. Sean Hayes, which is, I was saying to you before we started, there's no group of friends who doesn't listen to that and say, that's us in some way, which is like the guest is always great and that's fun, but really the heart of the show is just the three of you giving each other crap. That's what we tune in for. How much fun has that been?
It's been so much fun. We started, I think a lot, we've told this story before on the podcast that, I was going to do a podcast and I told Jason, and then he called me like 2 days later. He said, I just had dinner with Sean, told him that you're starting a podcast, and then we agreed that we should do it with you. And I was like, wait, what? And she was like, yeah, so we're the three of us are doing a podcast now. It was just classic, like, you know, again, but that's how friends are, right? I mean, that's what we do. And it's like, it's just an extension of our friendship. And we got to do it in this time when we were all at home because of COVID. And it was a real highlight. It was a positive thing that was able to happen. And I was, again, glad that we were able to kind of bring some lightheartedness and bring some, bring that into, out into the podcast space for people. And we're really happy that we found it. And now we were able to continue doing it. And what's great is, like, I hear from friends, friends back home in Canada or friends back here in New York or whatever, who all know us really well and they relate to it as well. They're like, yeah, it feels very authentic. It's really just us, because that's what we all do. That's how we talk to each other. We goof around. It's always lighthearted. We never mean it in this really, I love those guys so much. It's unbelievable. I mean, those are the two guys that I would call in a pinch, and they'd be the first guys there to help no matter what, which is the best. And, I'm out here with my kids right now on vacation, and I said, yeah, I'm going out there. And Bateman's like, great, well, we're coming out this week. Not like, does that work for you? This is when we're coming. You know what I mean? That's what you do. We're family.
Yeah, well, the beauty of it, too, it feels anyway like there's nothing artificial about it. It's like you guys plug it in your headphones and you just go, and that's it. Whatever happens for that hour, that's it.
Well, we quite legitimately start recording the moment we log on. That's it. And we've never once discussed, well, because the other two of the guys don't know who the guest is.
Right.
So we never talk about, like, hey, we should talk about this, ever, not once. So we have zero idea what's going to happen at any moment. So that's why you get a lot of, like, me eating or whatever. And, part of it too is, you touched on, I've got so many kids here now. And so sometimes when I go into the booth and start doing the show, that's a break from the insanity that's kind of going on around me. And that's my chance to have something to eat, talk to my buddies. Well, very unprofessional. I get it.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. So I mentioned to you I was texting with Jason today because I told him I was going to see you. One of the things we talked about, I think I speak for him when I asked, he wanted to know if you could slide your meal window into a spot in your day when it doesn't conflict with the podcast so that you're not eating an Italian sub when you ask your questions.
It's so real from him. By the way, here's the best part. It's not just a burn, Willie, but he actually means it.
Oh, totally.
That's what's so sad, that he's had to go through an intermediary now to really drive home his point. What's great is that Jason, and I've tried to mention this on the podcast, he has for years, he loves to eat and talk. And I don't know where he gets off giving me crap for it, because he'd eat a salad like in a in-person meeting. I would never do it in person. That's the difference. I guess maybe I feel somewhat disconnected because we're doing a podcast. He'll do it in person, so you have to witness him. And for him, a utensil is in effect just a small shovel. And so he'll stuff his face, and then he'll ask these questions. And I think, so when I take great umbrage at him accusing me, because I'm like, he used to, back in the day when we were doing Arrested Development, every morning he'd start with at least one burrito. And he'd come on to set and we'd do rehearsal, and he'd be asking questions about blocking while eating a burrito. And we'd be like, hey man, you want to finish your burrito? What?
This is directly from Jason. He said, Will, you can keep only two of the following three things in your life. Which are they? National Hockey League, Premier League soccer, or snacks. So you have to get rid of one of those three things from your life. Jason would like to know which one it is.
Boy, he really hits me right where it hurts. Honestly,
Wow.
This is tough. I'm going to say snacks.
You're getting rid of snacks?
I'm getting rid of the snacks because he's right, I could lose a little water weight. And, I mean, let's be honest, I can't even, it's terrible. Thank God. Why do you think I do a podcast now? I've got a face made for radio. I can't do without my hockey.
Okay.
I can't do without it, and I can't do without my football.
Well, these two last answers kind of jibe then, the food eating during the podcast and the snacks, but you've given up snacks now in this theoretical question. Yeah.
I will give up snacks.
Wow.
Because hockey is my first love. And soccer / football is that's my mistress.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh, yes.
With Xfinity X5.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
You mentioned, Will, Arrested Development, which is how you and Bateman started this friendship. Is that gratifying to understand and to hear the sort of staying power of this show you did, 18 years ago?
Wow. When you put it like that, it's crazy. Yeah, it is. It's really gratifying. I'm really proud of the legacy of that show for sure. And I'm just happy when people can still appreciate it. That it was such a testament to Mitch Hurwitz, what an incredible writer he was or is. He created this show. I think one of the great things is that it's not too zeitgeisty. Yeah. So the jokes still are about things, they're still relevant because they're about these people and about these characters, not about what's going on in that moment in time. It's just timeless, really, in that way. So I think, but yeah, I love it. I like that people are able to appreciate it. Still, it's certainly very, very gratifying. It's crazy, and that really kicked off. So I've been really lucky to be a part of so many great shows over the last 20 years. I just, when people come out of the blue and say, I love that, yeah, it feels good.
You know what I didn't realize, Will, is that was the first big role that people really knew you for. You'd obviously done a bunch of work before that. But I didn't realize when you came to New York, I think in like 1990, it was because we know you as this hilarious guy. We know you as Job and all the other characters. You came as like a Lee Strasberg trained serious actor, and that's who you were going to be, and that's what you were going to do. When did you get into that mode of acting after your childhood?
Yeah, I came to New York because I wanted to. I always joke that it's that thing. I was young enough that I thought that being taken seriously was important, that's one of those things that you kind of grow out of as you get older and you sort of realize what's important. To me, anyway, what was important was I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh, and I love to be involved in it. It makes me feel good. And one of my first agents, they said, all right, well, we're going to send you out for pilot season. You're going to read for a bunch of sitcoms. And at the time, I was like, I don't know, 23. And I thought, sitcoms? No way. I'm destined for great things. I'm going to really make people think and feel something. And of course, I needed a job. So, after about a month, I was like, yeah, let me go out for that sitcom. I kind of, once I started reading for comedies in this way, that I felt like that I was able to connect with comedy writing, I thought, wow, I probably should have gone and done sketch. I wish I had gone to Chicago, or I wish I'd done it in Toronto, Second City, or at least tried. I'm not suggesting that I would have been able to be as good as all the great people who do it. But probably that's something that I would have really enjoyed. Yeah. And I didn't realize that until a little bit later. So I kind of landed backwards in comedy, to be honest. I think it was people, I always joke that every time I was trying to be serious, people would laugh.
I was going to ask you about Flaked, which I think is a underrated, really, really good show. And I didn't realize how much of your own life, and I think you said at the time, like your own pain that went into that, just what was happening in your life at that time. Did you take a lot of your own stuff, whether it was professional life or private life, and put it into that show?
Yeah, certainly that wasn't really the intention when I started. My partner, Mark Chappell, and I wanted to talk about, we wanted to talk about this idea of who we are as people and the person that we put out to the world and who we really are, and kind of how big is that divide, and the size of that divide often can be a pretty good measure of how unhappy you are as a person, if that gap is too big. And I think that as we started getting into it, you always start informing your work, or your especially writing is often informed by your own experience. And I guess just through that process started more and more of my own experience came through it. So it's not autobiographical per se, but there were elements of my own life and also elements of other people in my life, in this character of Chip in Flake, that I really wanted to kind of investigate. And often what happens when you get into something like that, you get kind of close to a lot of things that are, really sort of hot issues for you. Yeah, and now sort of 5 years removed from the second season, I'm able to look back with much sort of healthier eyes at what that was.
Right. I mean, that was a really good show. I think underrated show, underappreciated.
Well, thank you. Thanks. I mean, I took a lot of pride. It was a tough time because it was also hard. We got some of the reviews were pretty scathing at the time, and it wasn't until after that, like a year later and 2 years later, some people started writing about it saying, "Hey, this show didn't get a fair shake." And I think at the time, I took it really personally, and that was difficult. It was a very sort of difficult, confusing time for me, which is funny to say because, I was 44, 45, 46 at the time. I wasn't a young man. I was, a middle-aged guy with kids. And and I learned like a bunch of lessons in a really short period of time, which is often the way it goes.
I've talked to a lot of actors who say exactly what you just said, which is you pour your heart into this, you give a couple of years to it, finally makes it up onto a screen, and a couple of people go, that wasn't too good, and the world moves on. You go, wait a minute, let me explain what we were trying to do. No, trust me, it's great. I mean, that's got to be, it guts you in some ways, I would think.
It does. It really does. And I had somebody say, there was a guy who wrote a piece saying, this is not an accurate representation of what it's like for somebody who is going, struggling with alcohol or whatever. And I was like, what do you know about it? This is actually a pretty fair description of what it was to go through that. And so to call that wrong, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get this guy. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna write him a letter. I am gonna, by the way, my version of get this guy. He's got a strongly worded letter coming his way.
Have my agent type something up and send it to him.
Yeah.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh yes. With Xfinity X5.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
BoJack just ended last year, January of last year. Another just brilliant show. And also funny, but also had such, some serious themes throughout, the stuff that people can relate to.
Yeah, I mean, BoJack, Raphael Bob Waxberg, who created BoJack, again, such a tremendous writer. It's kind of embarrassing how fortunate I've been to work with so many, just even talking about it now, how many incredible writers I've been able to work with. And it's, you hear the word all the time, but hashtag blessed. I really do mean it. I mean, I'm being glib because I can't get too real, otherwise I have to make a joke. But I've been really, really lucky, and Raphael was no exception, man. What an incredible writer. He wrote a really great pilot that the first time I read it, I thought, wow, this is so funny. And then as we started to do the show, he revealed himself to be such a thoughtful, deep guy who could not only be really funny, but be really poignant at the same time. He really wrote the kind of stuff that I enjoy, which is you can be incredibly funny and incredibly tragic at the same time. Yeah. That's such a feat. I grew up, my favorite film of all time, I talked about it recently on our podcast, was my favorite film of all time is Withnail and I, English film by this guy, Bruce Robinson. Brilliant film. And it was the first time I had ever seen that move before. Something that's really, really funny and really, really poignant and quite, sad at the same time. That's kind of the way life is. And, to bring back Flaked, I never wanted to do a show that was just a comedy or just a drama, because that's not how we experience life. We don't wake up and, our lives, our days are filled with lots of ups and downs and things, funny moments and sad moments, and sometimes, back to back. And I think that Raphael with BoJack Horseman really got that. Here was a character who had been to the top, and the top of, in his world, was the entertainment industry, and you just see how kind of success doesn't necessarily mean success in terms of career does not mean success in terms of a person. Whether it's show business or any business, you have a guy who's, spiritually and morally bankrupt, even though he's at the top of his game, and how incredibly sad and hollow he feels and bitter, and how aware he is of where he's at too. It just, really extraordinary. And Raphael, I just thought just did an incredible job of bringing that out.
Will, thanks so much for the time, man. This was a total blast. congratulations on Lego Masters. Congratulations on Smartless and all the stuff you're doing. I'm a fan. It's great to see you.
Thanks, Willie. Great to talk to you, man.
Hey, Today All Day. Next on Saucy, Anthony Contrino is whipping up 3 dishes any true lover of Italian food should never live without. First up, he's making a classic creamy risotto. Then it's a super easy red sauce. And finally, an irresistibly crispy arancini. Oh, this rice is nice.
I love risotto. It can be a bit time-consuming to make, but it's actually quite easy and it always impresses. You can make risotto even tastier by deep frying it. I like to transform it into one of Sicily's most popular street foods, arancini. These OG rice bowls can be found pretty much everywhere in the region where my gram comes from, Palermo. Today, I'm making a classic creamy risotto. I'll use the leftovers to make my irresistible arancini that I love to serve over my no-fail everyday tomato sauce. For cocktail hour, it's another taste of Sicily. My blood orange and white wine coolers that are sure to be the hit at your next summer party. Risotto is something that I think that everyone should learn how to make. And it's a technique that's quite simple to master. Now, you can add any flavor that you'd like to it. Mushrooms are super traditional. I like to fold in some roasted butternut squash in the fall. A fresh zesting of lemon for a delicious risotto al limone, or if you're feeling super bougie, you can shave some fresh black or white truffle on top. I like to keep it simple with this base to really let the flavors of white wine and Parmigiano Reggiano really shine through. The first thing you need to do is warm some stock. We're gonna need this a little later on in the process, but we want it to be ready. We're not looking for it to be simmering, just stay nice and warm. In the meantime, we can get the rest of our ingredients all set. I have 2 small shallots, but you can use 1 large instead. I go this way, and then the opposite direction. I'll just give my knife a quick run over just to make sure I didn't miss a piece or 2, but kind of nailed it. Set that aside. And a couple of cloves of garlic. Oh, God, where did we get this garlic from? Peeled garlic from now on. We want to mince this up as well. I have the rest of my ingredients ready to go. So all that's left for me to do is just open up this bottle of white wine. A good dry white wine will do here. Like I've said in the past, something that you would drink. I'm using a nice Pinot Grigio. Make sure you go deep enough. There's nothing worse than breaking a cork. Ta-da! We'll just set that aside. Time to start cooking. I'm gonna put this pan over a medium heat, and to that, we will add some butter. Just 1 tablespoon for a little extra flavor. And then 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Give it a swirl, get that butter melted. Then we can add our shallots. Looks like a lot, right? We're not looking to get any color on these shallots, just to soften them. So we're literally just going to saute these for a couple of minutes, 2 to 3. Time to add our garlic. Just want to cook this garlic for a minute, just until it's fragrant. It's fragrant. Then our rice. 1 cup right into our pan. We want to toast this rice a little before we start adding the liquid to cook it. I'm using cannaroli rice. It is considered the king of Italian rices. It has a lot of starch in it, which is going to add to the creaminess, and it also cooks to a beautiful al dente. I think this guy's getting thirsty. Time to add a half a cup of wine. Looks about right. Now this is where the technique really kicks in. Over this medium-low heat, you want to keep stirring constantly until there's almost no liquid left. Like right now, before you start adding your warm broth, just a little bit at a time, about a ladleful at a time. And keep stirring and repeating the process. The reason we're adding warm stock is because we don't want to halt the cooking of our rice. What makes risotto so creamy is, unlike pasta, where you strain the water, you're keeping everything, all those starches remain in the pan, and it just keeps getting thicker and creamier and delicious. I'm way too passionate about risotto. You see how all of my liquid is almost gone? I'm actually gonna lower this heat a little bit and add another ladleful of our stock. Just keep stirring, adding liquid as needed, and this is probably gonna take about 40-45 minutes. And do note, you might not need all of the broth. It's better to have too much than too little. Look how creamy. It's like the parting of the seas. It takes a really long time for it to sort of come back together. I'm gonna get my last couple of ingredients on standby so it's ready to go. Okay, I think we can add our cheese. Half a cup of Parmigiano Reggiano, the good stuff, the real stuff. And a quarter cup of my secret ingredient. Looks about right. Mascarpone cheese. As if this wasn't creamy enough, this is gonna put it over the top. You can see how creamy it is. It's almost like rice pudding. It's so creamy and decadent that you don't need that much of it. Then to finish it off, simply a drizzle of really good olive oil, just a couple of cracks of fresh black pepper, and of course, just a little bit more Parmigiano Reggiano. Or a lot of it more. Buon appetito. Perfection. So good, so creamy, so delicious. Don't worry, these leftovers are not gonna go to waste. Never in my house. While it's still warm, I'm gonna transfer it to a sheet pan, spread it out nice and thin, let it come to room temperature, then we'll cover it and get it in the fridge to chill so that we can make the crispiest, the creamiest arancini you've ever had.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us.
We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us?
Yes. There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
I always serve my arancini with a tomato sauce, and my family's been making this forever. Once a month, my parents would make a vat of it so that we always had it on hand, even packing it and freezing it up just to bring on vacation with us. God forbid we couldn't have sauce on a Sunday when we were in Florida. This sauce uses just a few staple ingredients, at least staple ingredients in my house, and comes together fairly quickly. First up, a sweet onion. It adds a little bit of sweetness and balances out the acidity of the tomatoes. Any sweet onion will do. I feel like my gram had this sauce going within minutes and it would just be simmering away, and we would be in the kitchen trying to like sneak a dip of bread into it before we got yelled at. I'm gonna get this into my pot, get it out of my way. A nice healthy amount of garlic, 5 cloves. Thankfully, I have some left over from my risotto. And just thinly slice it. Obviously, I love garlic. And that's gonna go in at this point as well. Next up, extra virgin olive oil. About 1/3 cup. Okay, let's put this over medium heat and start to saute that garlic and onion. This is definitely one of my favorite smells in the world. It means that somebody's cooking up something delicious. We want these onions to get nice, soft, translucent, but not take on any color. Just stir it pretty frequently, just so that you can make sure they don't burn. Okay, these are looking perfect. Time to add our tomatoes. I have 3 28-ounce cans of what were Pilati whole peel tomatoes that I pureed in a blender, and we're gonna throw that right into our pot. Gonna give this a stir and add our last few ingredients. We'll add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. We'll go back later and make sure that doesn't need any more. Some fresh black pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of dried oregano. And a pinch of red pepper flakes. If you like a spicier sauce, of course, add more. And then basil, decent bit of basil, about 1/4 cup, which basically means this whole plant. And stems are fine. Kind of a sad looking plant. Right on in. The basil is just so aromatic, and in my opinion, that's what makes a really good tomato sauce, is the basil flavor that's infused and permeated throughout this whole sauce. At this point, you want to bring your sauce to a boil, then immediately reduce it to a simmer, stirring every 10 to 15 minutes until it's thick, all the flavors have come together, and it's ready to be served.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us.
We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us?
Yes! There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
I've never met a rice bowl that I don't like, but these are truly the best. It has everything going on. It's creamy, it's cheesy, and has a crispy exterior. They're not your typical traditional Sicilian rice balls or arancini. I like them to be on the smaller side. They're a little bit more elegant and perfect for a cocktail party. The first thing that I need to do is set up a dredging station. I don't always use flour, but this is one of those times when I do, and I'll show you why in just a minute. So about 3/4 cup. Up next, a couple of eggs. Whisk those up real well. And finally, some panko. I've tried it both ways with standard breadcrumbs and panko. This is the way to get the perfect crispy exterior. So about 1.5 cups of that. Now that our dredging station is complete, on to the cheesy part. I have some fresh mozzarella. These are called ciliegine because they are the size of a ciliegine, cherry. Gonna need 12 for this recipe. And I'm just taking them out of their liquid and placing them on a paper towel. I wanna get these nice and dry so that we can wrap them in the risotto and it's not too slippery. I have my chilled risotto from earlier. It's nice, firm, and set. Feels a little weird, but it's exactly what we want it to be. We want it to be pliable so that we can shape it around our ciliegine. I'm taking a 2-tablespoon cookie scoop or measure, it's 1 ounce, and scraping up some of our risotto. Don't worry if you rip the parchment that's underneath, just make sure it doesn't wind up in your risotto mixture here. That is not the crunch we're looking for. Press it in, make sure you're getting the full 2 tablespoons. My stomach is growling. Oops. Last one. Okay, now for the fun part. We're going to wrap our ciliegine inside our risotto. Take one of your mozzarella balls and slowly shape the chilled risotto around to enclose it. Takes a little patience. Give it a little roll. Don't worry about making a perfect circle at this point. We will refine the shape later on after we dredge them. Cute. Now keep going. Take your time. It's really important that the cheese is in the center of your risotto so that when you fry them, it doesn't leak out. It's a little sticky, but that's what's helping to keep everything all together. I like my arancini on the small side because of the cheese to risotto ratio, but traditionally in Sicily, they're much larger, pear-shaped or orange-shaped, hence arancini, and are often filled with meat sauce with peas or prosciutto. Last one. Okay, that just about does it. At this point, wash your hands. You definitely want to start with clean, dry hands for the dredging process. That's all there is to it. This size is the perfect size for a cocktail party. And then you don't have to feel so guilty when you eat 3 or 4 of them. That's all there is to it. I'm gonna give my hands a quick rinse, make a little room so that we can fry these bad boys up. I have a high-sided skillet filled with a generous amount of vegetable oil. You want there to be enough oil for the balls to be completely submerged. We're looking for a deep fry, not a shallow fry. Be careful. Cook them in batches of about 4, just so that you can control the temperature of your oil. It's been about 5 minutes, and these are looking great. They're beautiful golden brown. And I know that that cheese inside is nice and gooey. Right onto our paper towel lined sheet pan, and immediately crush up some sea salt right on top so that it melts from that hot oil and just gives a little bit of extra seasoning to our arancini. Don't they look great? Beautiful. Our arancini are beautiful golden brown. They're nice and hot, just the way they need to be served. Let's get it plated up. I'm gonna go with a fairly simple presentation. Just a generous puddle of my everyday tomato sauce right in the center of a plate. Just like that. And then I think 3 is a very nice and generous portion for our arancini. A little extra cheese never hurt anyone. And last but not least, if you can find it, some micro basil. You can use regular basil. If you haven't figured out by now, I'm just over the top and bougie. Look how beautiful this looks. It's like the Italian flag on a plate. These arancini make the perfect appetizer for cocktail hour, and I have the perfect drink to mix up.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
When blood oranges are in season, I can't wait to get my hands on them and use them for as many things as possible, like this blood orange and white wine cooler. This is not the stuff you were sneaking behind your parents back in high school. It's a little bougier than that. This blood orange is doing double duty. Half of it's gonna go into our cocktail to help flavor it, and the other half is gonna be a beautiful garnish at the end. So cut one half into wedges, and you can throw this into a cocktail mixer or a cocktail shaker, whatever you have. The other half, I'll have again, and then just slice into half moons. Look how beautiful, deep, vibrant red that is. Super delicious, and it's also very nutritious. You're also going to need a half of a lime. Save the other half for something later. Cut that into a few wedges as well. Then a little rosemary, about 2 sprigs. Add that and muddle it up. Put some elbow strength into it. We want to get all of those citrus juices out and the oils and fragrance of that rosemary, which I can smell already. Look at that beautiful fuchsia color. Okay, to that, 1 cup of our Pinot Grigio. Stir it up. And then strain it into 2 glasses. 1 cocktail for now, and then 1 for right after. Isn't that a gorgeous color? Then to amplify our blood orange flavor, some blood orange soda. Half a cup to each of your glasses. All that's missing are some garnishes. Throw a few of those half moons into your glasses. Any way they fall. Some more rosemary. I have one last surprise. It is summer after all, so some edible flowers. You can find these in the produce section of your supermarket. That'll do. I don't know about you, but I think this is one gorgeous cocktail. It also happens to be extremely delicious. This is not your average wine cooler. Cheers.
The new series Dr. Death tells a true story of a neurosurgeon named Christopher Dunch who paralyzed and even killed some of his patients.
Joshua Jackson takes on the chilling role. Now, in the program, he's just started at a new hospital in Dallas and is about to perform spinal surgery.
But when he meets Dr. Kirby, played by Christian Slater, things don't exactly start off on the right foot.
Yeah, what passes for neurosurgery down here is a sham. I'm here to nuke this place into the future.
Wow, well, you impress me. Usually it takes surgeons at least a good decade to refine their God complex.
Christopher D. Dunch, MD, PhD.
Randy, so do they have to enlarge the door to get your northern head into the building?
I'm from Tennessee.
North of Texas is north.
Ah! Joshua and Christian join us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
We're happy to have you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Josh, let's start with you because this show, it's so terrifying, especially knowing it's based on a true story. Had you heard about this story before you took on the role?
No, the first conversation that I had about this story was with Patrick McManus, the showrunner, executive producer, and he gave me the broad overview, but what he really said was, you need to go listen to the podcast because there's an amazing podcast around this story. And then once you listen to that, come back and talk to me. And it is, you're right, it's an absolutely chilling, terrifying story. And this man, Christopher Dunch, he's an outlier, but just a fascinatingly evil human being.
And even more so because these are both real folks that you're portraying. And Christian, you actually were able to speak with Dr. Kirby, the guy you portray, and we're supposed to spend a little time with him, but that got canceled because of the pandemic.
Correct. Yeah, I was going to fly to Dallas. We were all set to start shooting the show, and I was going to spend the weekend with him and his family, and unfortunately, COVID hit, so I wasn't able to do that. I did meet him recently at the Tribeca Film Festival, and he was, lovely, very passionate guy. And you really have to look at Dr. Kirby and Dr. Henderson as two heroes who are willing to put their careers on the line to stop somebody from doing something that's just so heinous.
Insane. Speaking of the pandemic, I know you filmed the show Smack in the Middle of COVID. And Josh, you say it actually added to the show. What did you mean by that?
I think the sense of dread, frankly, that we were all during we were right in the teeth of it through the fall and winter. And I think that added to the sense of claustrophobia and discomfort that you see on screen.
Makes sense.
And Christian, you mentioned Dr. Henderson is actually played by Alec Baldwin. So a lot of your scenes were shot with him. What was it like between you two on set? I'd imagine there's some levity behind, a really dark story.
No,
yes.
Serious. They took it very serious.
That's right. No, look, Alec Baldwin, we all know and love Alec Baldwin. And to get the opportunity to spend so much time with him was a great experience. Most of the levity came from the surgical scenes because, as much research as we did, I have a brother-in-law who's a vascular surgeon, so I was able to go to Baltimore and see him actually perform in the operating theater. But when it came down to it, my skills I'm so inept in the surgery that was quite hilarious.
Hey, Josh, I noticed you quaffing a little liquid out of that new mug that says Dad. You and your wife welcoming a baby girl last year. Yeah. How's fatherhood doing?
It's amazing. If I had known how wonderful it is, I would have done it sooner.
I was just saying the same thing with Carson.
Oh, that's so cool. And just so you know, Josh, I long to sit in one of those chairs on your shirt. I'm like, wherever that is, that's where I want to be.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Cecily Strong has been coming to us live from New York for 9 seasons on SNL, and now her latest project will have you laughing, have you crying, maybe even have you singing.
And it will have songs stuck in your head till the next morning. I can relate. We're talking about her new Apple TV Plus show. It's called Schmigadoon, and Cecily plays a doctor who goes on a hiking trip with her boyfriend to reinvigorate their relationship when they stumble upon a town living in the 1940s musical. For me, that would be awesome. For others, maybe a nightmare. Take a look.
We've been sleeping on the ground for days, so why would we pass up an actual bed?
That settles it then. Carson, run down to the inn and tell Harvey we have 2 very special guests checking in.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Well, what an unusual and exotic couple the two you make. No wedding rings, I see.
Oh, no, we're not married.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely
not.
Cecily, welcome. Schmigadoon is a fun, brilliant concept.
hilarious.
I mean, you know when you see something, you're like, that is so funny. How come no one thought of that? But that is brilliant. Whose brainchild was this?
That is all Cinco Paul, who is just the most wonderful, sweetest, funniest man. And he thought of this, I think, like 25 years ago, and he wrote this, and he's our showrunner, and there's a lot of his heart and some of his actual relationship with his wife in this show.
Cecily, when they start to break into these full-on dance and singing numbers, did you crack up? Did you sing along? Are you like a musical theater child? What was it for you?
Yes, I think it's like, I'm even just watching the clip now and just going, smiling, dumbstruck again, and that's really how I was the entire time. It was just, some days we'd go in, and then all of a sudden the core dancers would come in and be like, oh my God, that guy's doing 16 flips in front of us. It's 8 a.m. They're incredible.
Did you ever think of, was Broadway a dream of yours when you were a little girl?
Definitely when I was younger, and then you get slightly more realistic. I don't know. I ended up on SNL, so that's a little kid dream too.
Yeah.
But I always loved musicals. My uncle is Ed Strong is a producer in the city in New York, so I got to see a lot of Broadway musicals growing up. I think my first was Secret Garden, and my mom had made like a poster for me when I got home from that trip, and she took the playbill and some pictures, and so on my wall in my room it said Cecily on Broadway.
Oh my gosh, Cecily, that's so sweet.
Okay, very sweet.
Can we just ask about the title, Schmigadoon? I get that it's the name of the town, but what does it mean? Describe Schmigadoon
Well,
for us.
because the schmuh is Yiddish. It makes everything funny. So that's his play on Brigadoon.
And what
because
about
Brigadoon is a musical with a similar opening.
Brigadoon.
Oh, that was great. And the songs are, I mean, they are sung as if they are full-on serious musicals from Broadway, but they're full of an edge and some funny bits. Were y'all just cracking up half the time in the middle of it?
Definitely. And I mean, especially for musical theater people, I think they'll get a lot of extra jokes, but there's plenty for everybody. But certainly, if you are a fan or into musicals, you'll get that. I mean, I laugh all the time that when they sing about corn pudding.
The corn pudding song got stuck in my head. I was singing about corn pudding this morning, so I want to just thank you and everybody involved for that.
And Cecily, you got a great cast. We're just going to shout out Kristen Chenoweth, Alan Cumming, Jane Krakowski,
Yes, it's unbelievable.
Keegan-Michael Key.
Martin Short.
Yeah,
How did y'all do it?
Well,
unfortunately, because Broadway was shut down, we got a lot of these people that maybe we wouldn't have. But it was so exciting when I got to watch them sing or perform, and Kristen is so funny,
She's
and
the
every
best.
line she made into somehow like a quotable line, even just a clearing of her throat, or like,
of course,
oh yes you do. That's my favorite. I like to watch like a fan, and I sing and speak along with everybody.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us.
We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us?
Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Jenna, I know you don't like to throw around the world literally, but in this case, there is one person who literally can do it all in Hollywood, and that is our pal, Mindy Kaling. She's an actress, she's a comedian, she's a writer, she's a producer, she's a director,
And
she's a mama.
mother. She
can
does
do it all.
We've
Yeah.
seen her work on shows like The Office, where she played Kelly Kilkapoor for 8 seasons, and of course, The Mindy Project, which she not only starred in, but she also created. And now the New York Times best-selling author is out with a season 2 of her wildly popular Netflix show. It's called Never Have I Ever, another project she, of course, created and wrote.
Yeah, it's a coming-of-age comedy about the complicated life of a first-generation Indian-American teenager named Davy, played by Maitreyi. In this scene, Davy is spying on her mother while she's on a date. Take a look.
Basically stripping.
Davy, don't jump to conclusions. Let's see if she answers a text from her only child. How's the work dinner? Getting a lot done? It's just... My mom just left me on red.
Oh, Mindy and Maitreyi.
That's big right there.
On a date with Common.
Good. It's really good.
Yeah, on a date with Common.
I know, on a hot date with Common.
Mindy, did you know she was magic? Did you know that Maitreyi was magic right away?
From the moment we met her. She is the most exceptional young actress that I've ever met. She's also my daughter.
Yeah.
And I thought that this would be a good time to tell everyone.
To complain about the nepotism that happened on Never Have I Ever. There was some nepotism, and we're talking about it
I wish
now.
she was my daughter. No, she was just this incredibly talented high school kid who thought she could do it, and we saw her and we're like, she's a star. So we feel so lucky to have her.
And Maitreyi, is it true that you saw a tweet and you just thought, you know what, let me try. Haven't been in any show, but let me just give it a try.
Yeah, actually, it was my best friend who saw it, and they sent it to me and was like, yo, you could have fun with this. So we decided to just go to our library community center and start filming.
I can't even believe that this is how it began, and it's magic. Mindy, this idea, obviously, it's very close to your heart, this idea. So are you using stuff that's ripped from your own headlines?
Yeah, you know, I created the show with my friend Lang Fisher, and we were both nerds in high school, but we were ambitious and wanted to have boyfriends, and I just felt like we didn't really get to see that side of nerds, especially like Asian women. We're usually depicted as kind of, you know, demure, and I like this character because she's feisty and smart and has like, you know, an anger problem, so it was unusual.
So it's a little bit like you. No, you don't have an anger problem at all.
Little bit, yeah.
I read and how much Mindy has been an inspiration to you, Maitrey, that you think of her as a mentor. Tell us why.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us why.
I mean, okay, obviously, huge fan of The Office, my favorite comedy of all time. But, of course, she plays Kelly Kapoor. But I think she's written some of the best episodes on The Office, in my expert office opinion. So I was like, she knows, like, all the comedic jokes and does everything. Like, I'm not even, like, trying to kiss her, like, you know.
Listen, I'll take it, I'll take it.
She can do it all.
Tell me more.
No one can say that Mindy Kaling does not work hard, because that is, like, just a lie. Like, she always is working on something.
And
it's
to
amazing.
have, and to have someone, Maitrey, who you connected to, who looks like you.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I get it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm so thankful to have, like, Mindy Kaling as my first boss. But as, you know, The Office says, Michael Scott, friend first, boss second.
Oh, I love that. Okay, Mindy, Legally Blonde celebrated.
Yes.
We did a little bend and snap around here for Reese. 20th anniversary. Are you done writing? Have you finished writing the script? Where are you?
We're in the middle of it. We actually just had a call with Reese last week to talk about it, and you know, I mean, she's such a great creative partner for that project. So yeah, fingers crossed, we'll see more of it soon.
Do we have any idea, like, what is the concept?
We know she's older. What's happening to her?
I cannot say anything. What a lame answer this is. I can't really say anything about it. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
Except
Should we
that
play a little game?
We will see some familiar faces.
Okay. Oh, familiar faces.
Familiar
That's good
faces.
to know. All right, we're going to play a little game, kids. It's called Never Have I Ever, the late night edition. So this is things you've done. Jenna dropped her mic.
I dropped my paddle, and I want to play.
All right, things we've done as a teenager. Okay, are you guys ready?
Okay.
Yeah, we're ready.
Never have I ever crawled in or out of a window to sneak out at night. I have never.
I'm not athletic enough for that.
Okay, never have I ever snooped through a family member's phone after they went to bed.
When we were little, nobody had phones.
Never, no.
I haven't.
You have?
You have?
Go, Maitrey.
When did you do that? Whose phone? Tell us.
Definitely, honestly, like, everyone's phones in my family, because I know everyone's passwords, everyone's email passwords, like, everyone's, I have a really good memory for that stuff.
Oh, that's so awesome.
All right.
You guys, congratulations.
Congrats,
this show
Mindy.
is a huge hit, and we cannot wait to
Congrats,
see season 2.
Maitrey. We can't wait to see her future, too. It's going to be a big one.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like, really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us.
We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us?
Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
Exactly.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
For 6 seasons, Annie Murphy cracked us up as Alexis Rose, the slightly out of touch but always lovable daughter on the show with the objectable sounding name, Schitt's Creek.
Well, now Annie's starring in another show, and we can't even say the name of that one, so why don't we just show the graphic? Kevin, Ken, Blank himself. It's a spin on the classic sitcom, yet it's so different. Andy plays Allison, an unappreciated housewife who yearns for more than her stagnant life with her immature husband. Poor Kevin. Take a look.
Well, look at the time. You really should get going.
Man, can't we switch places for the day?
How'd that work?
Well, you can wear a fat suit and install cable, and I can work at the happiest place on earth.
It's a liquor store.
I know what I said.
Oh my gosh. It's so good to see you.
By the way, we missed you. We loved it. We are huge fans of Schitt's Creek, and we couldn't wait to see what happens next. So just give us a little taste of what was life after the end of that kind of just iconic show.
Oh, it was very sad for a while. I did a lot of kind of crying alone in my shower. And then it was a little scary for a while because even though the show was so successful, my phone wasn't ringing.
That's weird.
I know, we can't believe
we are
that.
struck by that. Like, we thought you win 9 Emmys, your show is amazing, everyone is like,
it's like the cultural touchstone of everything.
Sure enough.
Well, thank you. But it still was a frighteningly quiet time. But then this script came along and it was so different and so exciting. And the fact that it bounced back and forth between the world of the sitcom, the classic sitcom that we've grown to know and maybe love, and then this gritty, dark single cam. It was really, really exciting.
I mean, it is such an interesting show because it's this combination, as you said, of like the 90s sitcom plus kind of like a Breaking Bad. So tell me if I get this right and then expand. You're kind of an unhappy, unappreciated housewife. So when you're with the husband, things are glowy and whatever. And then you go out by yourself and things get a little dark.
That's putting it lightly. Things do get a little dark. We find out that the 10 years with Kevin have kind of chipped away slowly at this woman's confidence and mind and heart and soul. And she's tired and she's frustrated. And so she decides that she wants to make a change. And that change may or may not include a plot to murder her husband.
Oh, well, that sounds like a good plan. Andy, let's take you back before Schitt's Creek. And there's a time, I think, in every actor or actress's life where they wonder, like, am I in the right business? Should I be doing this? I mean, we read, and tell if this is true, you had $3 left to your name. And you were, I'm sure, at a fork in the road going, like, I need to eat and pay my rent and make a living. Just tell us about that moment and the moment that Schitt's Creek happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think the $3 has been a little bit hyperbolized, maybe like 300. It was still a very small amount of money to eat and pay rent with. And also on top of that, I hadn't worked for almost 2 years. It was kind of always down to me and another woman for a part, and it seemed to always go to the other woman. So after hearing no so many times, you kind of start asking yourself if this is the right thing for you. And my skin wasn't quite thick enough to convince myself that it was the right thing for me. So I decided that I was going to start down a completely new path. What that path was, I have no idea because I didn't know if I had any other strengths. But I decided that I was going to quit acting. And literally the next day I got the audition for Schitt's Creek, which completely and utterly changed my life.
So awesome. Okay, before we go, we want to play a quick game with you. Since your show is called Kevin Can Blank Himself, we'd like to play a little game called Fill in the Blank. We're going to ask you a question and then you fill in the blank, okay?
All right, you ready? Here's the first one. Yeah. My favorite Schitt's Creek memory is blank.
Watching Daniel Levy get attacked by June bugs and scream swearing down a dirt road.
I like that.
Okay, I don't leave home without my blank.
Dog. I don't have a dog.
Oh.
That's a lie. Purse.
Okay.
Purse, that's a good one.
I stole blank from the set of Schitt's Creek.
So many things. So many things. I stole clothes. I stole artwork on the walls, I stole Alexis's pubic relations diploma.
Oh my God.
I have a trunk full of things, let's be honest.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, before we go, and I think we do this every time you're
We
here.
have to. We
and
can't
I feel
help
kind of
ourselves.
bad, but you have a doppelganger on our show, Brittany Schreiber, who is one of our favorites. She oversees all of our concerts. Here y'all are.
Wait, look, you and Britt.
I think
it's the smile, it's the eyes, it's
and
anyway.
the teeth.
And the teeth.
We're teeth twins.
You
She's
guys
the best,
are ringers.
too.
Anyway, we love you, Annie. Thank you so much for being with us. Okay, they say people come into our lives for a reason. And for Kristen Chenoweth, that reason is to make us smile.
I love a Wicked reference. It sure is. She can do it all. She can dance. She can act. And now she's starring in the brand new musical comedy series on Apple TV Plus called Schmigadoon. It's about a couple in a relationship where they get stuck in a magical town where everyone is living in a musical.
Totally normal. Let's take a look.
Our motto is we always strive for peace and happiness.
What is Mrs. Layden? If Schmigadoon is to endure, it must be kept pristine and pure. This land on which our fathers trod must ever obey the laws of God.
Look at your Joker lips and everything. What are you doing? But first of all, you always play nice. You always play sweetness and nice, but not in Schmigadoon.
Not in Schmigadoon. I had to call upon some people that maybe I know very well. I thought the Joker seemed pretty maniacal.
Yes.
And and maybe, the former leader of our country holding a Bible upside down, just silly things like that.
Even people that don't like musicals are going to laugh. I know from my husband who laughed out loud at this. This is the most hilarious.
Too, yeah.
Some edge.
Edgy. It's, my brother's very similar to your husband. He's like, I remember I was doing a musical in college, and he said, "Don't ask me to come to one of those again." But he'll love this because it does have the edge. And then Keegan's character is the
guy,
the person that doesn't like the musical, and he's stuck in this nightmare.
I mean, if you wanted like the perfect cast, I think you might have it there.
Can you believe
it's Alan Cumming, it's you, it's Cecily Strong, it's Keegan-Michael Key, it's Jane Kurkowski.
Martin Short is the leprechaun.
I know, and Ariana DeBose, Dove Cameron.
And I heard that even when y'all were quarantining, you and Alan would do sing-offs in the shower. I mean, two different bathrooms. There y'all are.
Oh, there we
are. What would y'all sing?
That's the day I got out of quarantine. He was like, let's go to lunch. So he was my next door neighbor at the hotel, and I'm a night owl, and I would sing at night practicing. I had an 18-pager in a song.
18-pager.
I know, I can't believe she did that.
I know, I couldn't believe it. So I would find 3 a.m. would be the perfect time for me to wake up and see if I had it. And one time Alan was listening, and he just banged on the wall like, "Please stop. I beg you to please stop."
I beg you.
But I heard him singing too, so.
I love that you stood for the first time in a year and a half in front of an audience of 4,000. You got up on stage and you sang that first note. So what was that connection like?
I love the connection anyway between the audience and the artist. I love to be in the audience, but I wanted to be great because they all wanted to be there. They wanted to be there, and I wanted to be great. And I knew that it was going to be hard because I hadn't done it in a year and a half, the 2-hour show. And the minute I heard the orchestra downbeat to, if you can believe it, Que Sera Sera, that song, it's a beautiful orchestration. I walked out on stage and the audience clapping, standing, and just tears.
I already have chills.
I'm crying, and I have never been able to do that.
And you wept in front of the audience, huh?
Yeah, and I thought it's okay that they see this. And I held it together through the whole show until the very end when I sing a song, Charlie Chaplin's Smile. I sing it just with me and the piano. And I heard my pianist, Mary Mitchell Campbell, playing her interlude solo. And I saw how much she was moved by it. Then I started crying again. And I was like, Kristen, really pull it together.
Well, speaking of tears, you've had a lot of tears of joy because, as you said, you found your person named Josh. I mean, you found your person.
I did. I found my person.
Did you think that day would come?
No, and we had met at my niece's wedding. He was in a band that was playing, if you could believe it, and he finally We finally came together and met, and he said, I'm going to court you. And I thought, okay, I'm very busy. I'm very busy. I don't have time for that. No, I just said it. And he did. And COVID is what brought us closer together. I think that was a real sign for people. Either it brought people closer or it drove them apart.
And you had to hit the brakes. Was it hard, just quickly, was it hard hitting the brakes for Kristen Chen?
The hardest.
You're a worker.
I'm like you guys, workhorse.
Thank you for being with us.
Schmigadoon!
You gotta check it out. It's on Apple TV+. Don't forget to.
I'm Shop All Day contributor Chassie Post, and I know trends. Each week, I'm here with the must-have fashion and beauty products at a price you'll like in Style Finder.
I'm fashion and beauty expert Makon Lovu, and I'm bringing you industry insiders and those in the know to share all the buzzworthy products sweeping social media in influencer trends.
And I'm Shop All Day contributor Jen Fallick, and I love finding the best versions of everyday items in Better Basics. This is Shop All Day, What's Trending?
Hi, I'm Shop All Day contributor Chassie Post, and we're back today with another episode of Shop All Day. Now, many of us are switching out our closets to make room for warmer clothes or figuring out how to incorporate the new fall trends into the wardrobe you already have. We've got you covered, from long cardigans in the latest ankle booty to the must-have lipstick color. Plus, we're sharing ways to upgrade your beauty and kitchen routine too. And remember, see that QR code at the bottom of your screen? You can use the camera on your smartphone to scan it for instant access to the products on the show today. So let's get to it. I'm so excited about this first one. It has two major fall trends in one. We're talking leopard print and long cardigans. And check this out. First, we've got to talk about the leopard print. And I have to tell you, it is my favorite print ever. Why? It actually acts as a neutral, and it goes with absolutely everything in your closet. In fact, I call it the new neutral. And what it does is it really shakes up and gives, a fresh take on anything you pair it with. Also, this wonderful long cardigan silhouette, it's another huge trend. And what people are loving so much about it is it's very cozy, it's very warm for the fall weather, and it kind of feels like wearing your favorite blanket, but it's a little bit more flattering. And with this trend, some of the things that we look out for is, the chunkier style, the longer length, which is actually quite flattering. I love it because it gives you a little more coverage around the hip area, which means this looks as great with leggings as it does a great pair of jeans. Next up, let's talk about a trend that is near and dear to my heart, and that is the utility jacket. Why? Because I utilize it probably more than anything in my closet, and I wear it year-round, 4 seasons. And what's so great about it is in the summer, I'll take it along with me or tie it around my waist when I'm wearing a sundress, because I know that there's going to be air conditioning that I have to contend with. In the fall and spring, it is the perfect transitional weight, and of course in the winter, you can layer it underneath a larger coat. But let me tell you what makes this one so special. It's got all the bells and whistles we look for in a great utility jacket. I really love the length. It's hip skimming, so it makes it really versatile, but it's got lots of great little zippers, and I love this little drawstring detail because it gives you a little bit of shape, so it makes it really flattering. We've got a great hood, which means this can double as a raincoat, and of course, it comes in lots of different colors, but my vote is the classic army green. You can never go wrong with it. And again, the price is really affordable. This is a trend that feels like it transcends trends. It really is a classic or a wardrobe staple. So move over old school black leggings, because there's a new trend in town, and it's called the faux leather legging, and it's about to become your wardrobe's secret weapon. And yes, this leather look has been huge this season, and we're loving this fabulous example from Spanx. And when we call it a secret weapon for your wardrobe, what we mean is that it instantly updates and modernizes and elevates anything that you pair it with, anything that you might have worn, your old school black legging, this little legging's gonna take its place and it's gonna lift up that outfit. So you know what else these little leggings are gonna lift up? As Spanx likes to say, it's gonna give you a flat gut and a great butt. I mean, sign me up, right? So, you know, Spanx is a beloved brand and it's a little bit more expensive, but I have to say, if you divide it by the number of days that you'll wear it, which is practically, 365, I think it's a really great deal. So now let's talk about the ultimate fall accessory staple, and that's a great bootie. I mean, ankle bootie that is. And this boot is a fabulous hybrid of two of the biggest boot trends that we're seeing out there for fall, and that is the Western boot and the Chelsea bootie. Now, when we say Western boot, what are we looking for with that trend? And you're really looking for that sort of great pointed toe. I mean, look, we have this little metal detail, which you see a lot on cowboy boots. You're looking for a stacked heel, which has an angle. And also, we mentioned that it's a great hybrid with the Chelsea boot. It still has those clean lines. And with the Chelsea boot, we look for the stretchiness on the side here, but guess what? They make it even easier for you because you've got the zipper detail, which makes it easy to get in and off. The heel's 1.5 inches, which I think makes a really great walking heel. They come in two different fabulous materials. You can go for, the black leather or the brown suede, both of which will serve you well, and you can wear it with absolutely anything in your wardrobe. This is a wear anywhere boot. So now let's talk about one of the biggest jewelry trends for fall, and that is the statement earring. Another trend that you're going to be seeing when it comes to jewelry this fall is gold. We are loving this warm metal. I mean, when I say every trend is accounted for, we've got them. I mean, anything from the hoops, we've got those great modern drops that we're seeing everywhere. We have these very contemporary shapes that lay flat on the ear. We even have door knocker earrings. Yep, those are back. And these beautiful sort of caged pearls. And pearls are another jewelry trend that we're going to see mixed into styles this fall. So with this little set, you can wear a different pair of earrings every day for 13 days. Or here's a great tip. The holidays aren't too far away. You can buy the set and you can break the set up and give them as gifts. Put them in a little box. And now on to beauty and a shampoo and conditioner set that is incredibly popular. Now shoppers are in love with this dynamic duo. It's called the Wow Apple Cider Vinegar Shampoo and Conditioner. So it's kind of got two things going for it in the trend department. One, people are talking a lot about apple cider vinegar these days, and a lot of beauty lovers are really looking for clarifying shampoos and shampoos that will, give them a great, deeper clean. Now, the conditioner smells so good. It's a combination of avocado oil and coconut oil. And so the brand really talks about how this product helps to defrizz and helps to detangle. So this combo, no wonder it is so incredibly popular. Now, next up, we've got a problem-solving lipstick and one of the hot beauty trends for fall. And it's this highly pigmented lip color. But these rich colors can be really tough to wear. And, one of the reasons shoppers are so excited about the NYX Shine Loud long-lasting lipstick is because the brand says that it stays put for 16 hours. And it's one of the first highly pigmented formulations that is also a high gloss formula. So it's a two-step process. You put on the pigmented side, then you add the gloss. Now we can all get in on that bold lip trend that we've been seeing everywhere. And lastly, another beauty trend that shoppers are really loving are multitasking products. I mean, we're looking for products that do double, triple, and with this one, quadruple duty. So this is the Alley Oop multitasker brush. This is 4 different makeup brushes in one tool. So you've got your concealer sponge, you've got an eyeshadow brush, you've got an angled blush brush, and you've even got the eyebrow brush. And what's so cool about it is you've got all 4 of these little tools in one, so you're not digging down in the bottom of your bag all the time trying to find all 4 brushes. I seem to never have the right tool for the job. So I love that it's an easy grab and go. Another great thing about this is it's a space saver. So it's really good for travel. You really only need to bring one tool. And when I first heard about this alley-oop brush, it was selling out so fast when it first launched. There was a wait list of thousands. So I love that it's readily available now for us all to try. And I mean, who doesn't love to multitask? So let's run through all the products one more time. And if you saw anything here you're interested in purchasing, see the QR code at the bottom of your screen. You can use the camera on your smartphone to scan it for instant access to the products on the show today. We have the knit leopard cardigan, the anorak jacket, the Spanx leggings, the women's ankle boots, the earring set, the apple cider vinegar shampoo and conditioner, the long-lasting lipstick, and the multitasker makeup brush. And that's it for Style Finder. Up next, Mako and Lovu is talking to fashion expert Melissa Garcia about her season selects, including an affordable bag from H&M and must-have fall lipstick color from NARS. Don't go away.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh yes.
With Xfinity X5.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Makon Lovu, and this is Influencer Trends, where I'll be talking to industry insiders, and they'll share their favorite products and the must-have items to shop for right now. Now, this is a great time to add pieces to your wardrobe with the latest trends, and we have just the person to help take the guessing work out of all of that. Fashion expert Melissa Garcia is here with her picks of those key items that'll easily upgrade your look, from handbags to clogs. And yes, clogs are back. And don't forget the QR code at the bottom of your screen. Use the camera on your smartphone and scan it to shop these products. Hey, Melissa, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. I am so excited to chat about fall trends. What are some of your favorite overall trends for this season?
Yeah, so two huge trends that we're seeing this fall is plaid. I mean, to no surprise, we always see plaid, but we're really seeing a huge influx of plaid this season. And also, I'm seeing a lot of Western-inspired details. So think fringes on jackets or shackets. I'm seeing a lot of Western-inspired boots with tucked-in jeans. So something that has a little bit of a Western feel or plaid, pick it up, and then you're all set for fall. But we narrowed it down to 5 between beauty and fashion.
Okay, so let's talk about this bag that we have right up here. It is super affordable, which you know I love, Melissa. What makes this bag in right now for fall?
This is such an awesome bag. So this season, it's all about that quilted texture. As you can see, it has this beautiful quilted texture. It's on the front and also on the back of the bag. Black is just, you can't go wrong with a black bag, but they also have great colors. This one's from H&M. Great colors. They have ivories, they have browns, and it's a crossbody, which I love too. Crossbody for me, that's like the only bag I wear now because you want to be hands-free. You don't want to have to worry and deal, but this bag is just the perfect size and it's the perfect trend for fall as well. Has a nice compartment inside, not too big, not too small. Perfect bag for fall.
I love that as we're starting to go back into the office. I love that you can put everything in there. So that bag has us covered. Let's talk about our feet. And listen, these clogs are amazing. Would you consider them a transitional piece? And what makes them unique to you?
Yes, so the shoe of the fall for 2021 is definitely the clog. We've been seeing a lot of 70s inspired influences, crochet, flared jeans, and the shoes, it's all about the clogs. These are great. I love these from Steve Madden. Again, affordable. And what's great about a fall clog is that they can actually hold their own with great statement sweaters because as we know, statement sweaters are big and overwhelming. You can't really wear a dainty shoe with them. So boots are a great option, but clogs are another great option as well.
I agree with you. So many different ways to style it. And this fur, Melissa, oh my gosh, it feels so comfortable, so soft. All right, so you brought up sweaters. Let's talk about sweaters. Now, this particular sweater is giving folks the cold shoulder. I absolutely love it. I like the style items that I buy for fall with pieces that I have in my closet. How am I styling this sweater?
I love this sweater. So this is from Zara. And you know what? It doesn't do justice as I'm holding it here, but it's all about the cutouts here. It's this beautifully placed cutout. I wish I wore this. Right on the shoulder here. And this season, it's all about the technical placement of the cutouts just to really accentuate your best features. And you can, again, like you were saying, Nicole, you can pair this with just a pair of jeans in your closet. It'll elevate anything that you wear it with because as we know, fall's always about a statement sweater, but this season, it's about the cutout statement sweater. So any pair of pants or jeans you have in your closet, you can easily pair that with.
I agree with you. I think you can wear it pretty much anywhere. Now, every season has its lipstick color. We've got the bold, we've got the natural look. What colors do you think women are going to be wearing this fall?
So I don't think it'll be surprised to hear that earth tones are a really big trend that we're seeing for fall lip colors. Now, you can either go super saturated, like those really pigmented lipsticks, or you can do something a little bit more sheer. I love these are from NARS. Now, they look really dark. Don't be afraid.
Okay.
Because they go on sheer. Like I'm gonna pop this one. This one looks so dark. But as you can see, it just gives like a little hint of color, that perfect like fall look. It gives that gloss. I actually like to blend these two colors together in too sometimes, but the NARS sheer colors, the earth tones are perfect for the fall.
I like how hydrating they are. All right, so let's talk about the brows. I'm a thick kind of brow girl. I like my brows to be thick. How do you use this brow wax that you brought with us today? And do you have to use a brow pencil first, or can you just use the wax on its own?
Yes, so you're right on trend because it's all about big brows this season. It's about fluffy brows, full brows. And what's great about this is that you can easily use this on its own. So this is from Anastasia, and it's basically like a pomade or a gel. It's clear for your eyebrows. It's like it's called a brow freeze. I would take your little spoolie brush, just dip it in here a little bit, and then you just position your brows where you want them. And if you want them to be fluffy like they're trending this season, brush them up and this will hold them in place. And then you can go in with your pencil and just fill in any sort of spots that you think that you need some coverage.
Oh, that's such a good idea. I like that, Melissa. And last question before I let you go. I want to make sure that I can incorporate my summer fashion into my fall fashion. Can you mix and match pieces from your summer closet?
Oh, absolutely. So one of my best tips is white jeans. I know everyone thinks that they have to pack away their white jeans at the end of the summer when Labor Day comes, but you don't. You absolutely do not. So I would pair it with those great woolly, comfortable, chunky knit textures, like the sweater that we just showed you. That's a perfect way to transition your white denim into fall.
Okay, when I'm wearing white, if I get the side eye, I'm looking at you, fashion expert Melissa Garcia. Melissa, thank you so much. You are the best at the biz. You know what you're talking about. We appreciate you spending time with us. Thank you so much. Let's run through all these products one more time. So first up, we have the handbag, the Steve Madden clog, the cutout sweater, the NARS lip balm, and the eyebrow styling wax. And just so you know, Today works with affiliate partners and earns a commission on purchases made through our links at today.com. Up next, Jen Fallick is bringing you better basics, including a fabric shaver that'll keep your fall sweaters looking brand new, and a hair mask from Olaplex if your hair is in need of a little TLC after months of ocean and sunshine.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts. Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Is that ready? Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
Hi, welcome back. I'm Shop All Day contributor Jen Fallick, and we've been talking about what's trending from fashion and beauty to home and wellness. So wait until you see this upgrade for your kitchen counter for your plastic wrap. Yes, even that can elevate your countertops. So let's get to it. So we are starting with the next big Insta-worthy kitchen organization must-have that I mentioned. This is majorly trending for fall. It's the Chic Wrap refillable plastic wrap dispenser. So not only does it make your kitchen more Insta-worthy, it also helps with sustainability, which is something that's on everyone's mind right now. I absolutely love these. There's these really great patterns. All you do, it comes with the roll of plastic wrap included, but you can also refill it as needed. And the reason that these are so awesome and a definite Better Basics upgrade is because they've got this little zip right here. This is gonna cut the plastic wrap perfectly every single time. When I'm pulling it off those aluminum little things, teeth, the plastic wrap always ends up getting twisted and cut in the wrong way. I end up having to throw it out and start fresh. With this, it's one simple little swipe. You've got a perfectly cut piece of plastic wrap to cover whatever you may need. Next up, we have got some great must-haves to make sure that all your fall favorites are perfectly ready to go, looking brand new, even if it's something that you've already had in your home or closet. We're gonna start with something that I discovered through Instagram and TikTok videos and became obsessed with. It's the Uproot Cleaner Pro. This tool is so satisfying to use. All you do, you can take it on like your favorite fall throw. For example, you're taking out those cozy blankets now. You want them to look like they're brand new, even if they're not. This tool is gonna make that happen for you. All you need to do is just sort of pull it along the top of the fabric. It's gonna get all the lint, all the pet hair, everything off. So whatever it is that you're working on, whether it's a carpet, upholstered item, a fuzzy fall blanket, it's gonna look brand new. Especially this time of year when it's shedding season. I know I've got a dog that gets hair all over everything. This little tool is such a useful gadget just to make sure everything looks clean and perfect for the season. Another super satisfying must-have to get all your fall trend pieces in perfect condition is this fabric shaver. A huge trend that I know we're talking a lot about today is that big long cardigan, those cozy, warm, long sweaters for fall. Well, they tend to pill. Typically, it's inevitable. It happens if they've been stored for a while, if you've been wearing them a lot. This fabric shaver has over 50,000 reviews on Amazon. People are obsessed with it, and for good reason. It has 2 different heights, so you can go with a really plush fabric or something that's a little more close-knit and make it seem perfectly brand new without ever snagging it. You get replacement blades in there. It's battery operated. I love anything that I don't have to worry about charging. And it has different settings. So you can really customize the treatment to whatever it is that you're working on at the time. If it's a delicate, if it's something a little more durable, this fabric shaver is gonna make everything look like new. The price is great and it has a cult following for a reason. So now let's move on to the latest trends in wellness and workouts. We'll start with acupressure, which is super popular right now. And this acupressure mat is actually created by a company that has acupressure studios in New York City. If you can't get an appointment at their studio, if that's not convenient for you, you can get this company's acupressure mat and get that experience at home. Acupressure is just the art of kind of getting into those pressure points to release tension in your body, relax yourself, help with pain. For me, I just find it very relaxing. This particular set has a mat and a little pillow. And I love that you can adjust the way that the treatment works based on where you put the pillow. So unlike a traditional mat that you kind of have one thing you can do with it and that's it, the fact that this also has the pillow included gives you the ability to really customize your treatment. As you know, with anything like this, you always want to consult your doctor before you start. And from the wellness aspect of relaxation to getting your body stronger, fitness at home is still trending big time. And we are seeing these booty bands everywhere. This will upgrade any workout that you're doing for the fall. And I love them because there's so many things about these specifically that make them better than your basic workout bands. First and foremost, this set of 3, not only does it come in great colors, which, hey, I can't help but love that. These are woven, right? They're not rubber and elastic, so they don't curl up. I find a lot of times with workout bands, when they are the traditional rubber bands, they tend to curl at the edges, they become uncomfortable, they pinch. The great thing with these is that because they're woven, they stay in shape the entire time. They're not gonna be uncomfortable. You don't have to interrupt your workout to adjust them. They stay exactly where you put them. They're obviously reusable. They keep their tension. And according to the company, they should not lose their strength. You can choose from either like the black and gray. You can go with the pastels. You get a light, a heavy, and a medium all in one set. And really, there are so many different ways to use these, from just stretching your body to building strength. A definite must-have upgrade for your home gym this fall. Now we're moving on to hair. And when it comes to hair, the big trend right now is scalp care. And we are seeing so many scalp care products flooding the market, and this one has a ton of buzz. So this scalp treatment is from Drunk Elephant, which is a brand that people love. I'm one of those people. Their products are amazing. They're clean. They're just really well made. The formulas are top notch. And this is from their new hair lines. They just launched hair care products more recently. They've had skincare for a while. And the way that you go about it is take the product, you massage it directly onto your scalp when your hair is dry. I like that too because it's something that I don't have to sit in the shower waiting to work. Put it on 10 minutes before you're gonna hop in the shower, massage it into your scalp. It's gonna exfoliate your scalp. Then hop in the shower, rinse it out, and you feel so refreshed. You'll follow it with shampoo and conditioner of your choice. Then moving on to another hair essential. We've taken care of the scalp. Now let's get those ends in tip-top shape. Olaplex is such a cult favorite brand. People have been begging this brand for years to launch a deep conditioning mask, and they finally did. This moisture mask is amazing. I've been using it for the past few months, once or twice a week, just to hydrate my ends. The brand is really known for their technology that creates strong bonds in your hair, hydrates your hair, and really helps to repair damage. Let's go through these products one more time. and you can use the QR code to get instant access to these items. We've got the plastic wrap dispenser, the lint cleaner, the fabric shaver, the acupressure mat, the booty bands, the scalp scrub, and the moisture mask. And just so you know, Today works with affiliate partners and earns a commission on purchases made through our links at today.com. That's a wrap on all of your Better Basics and for our show. It has been so much fun showing you guys our faves. Tune in next Thursday for another episode of Shop All Day.
I didn't think when I had started boxing that I was gonna come this far. I didn't know I was gonna grow this fast.
This is Violet, the warrior princess Lopez.
I would probably say I'm more of a warrior than a princess.
A 13-year-old boxer from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who's shaking up the world of youth boxing.
People say boxing is not meant for girls. I want them to see me as someone who shows you that you can do the sport you love, even though it's a sport that people say is not meant for you.
Violet was born with the heart of a fighter.
She's our youngest female boxer ever to compete out of the United Community Center. And I taught her from scratch, from a kid that didn't know nothing.
One day I was at home and my dad came home from work and he was like, your cousins are gonna do boxing, do you wanna try it to see if you like it? They looked around, they trained a little bit, and then as the weeks went on, she just got more and more into it.
At just 8 years old, Violet won her first fight. She was forced to wait 2 years for her next fight because there wasn't another female competitor in her age group.
Early on in her career, she was always down on herself because she never knew when she was going to get a fight. Being a female in boxing and then being an 8-year-old female, there's not many 8-year-old females that want to get punched in the face.
For 2 years, she just trained. They would have show fights here and all the boys are fighting, but she wasn't. She was just watching from the stands. She started to kind of think if it was for her because she didn't feel like there was enough room for females in boxing just because there was no opportunities for them.
I think that she realizes now that it's just part of the sport for female boxers.
That's the last round, okay? 20 seconds.
Not being able to get a fight and her crying because she wanted to fight. That's just as bad as losing.
But Violet didn't let that stop her. By 12 years old, she was the top-ranked amateur boxer in the country in her division, winning gold at the Junior Olympics and 5 national championships.
I want everyone to know that I worked really hard to get to where I am right now, and it's not always easy.
One of Violet's biggest challenges is outside the ring, fighting the stereotypes that are familiar to many female athletes.
Their biggest challenge is the fact that they are a female and not a male. People just assuming that they have it easier, people thinking that the training may be different for them, not as hard, they don't have to do as much. To see her cry in her bedroom. To say that my daughter wouldn't have national championships if she were a boy because it'd be so much harder and that's real boxing is just crap.
Nonetheless, Violet persisted.
Leading up to Lake Charles, I thought we had a really good camp. She knew she had to step it up and she had to fight harder, prepare harder. Violet persevered. She outboxed them. She did what she had to do.
I'm really happy. I'm glad that I got another win in my book.
Violet was poised to have her best season ever in 2020.
2020 was going to be the year that I just skyrocketed. But no, the coronavirus came along. It impacted me so much. I had to take off a year of showing people what I can do and who I want to be and what I want to change for boxing.
Violet's gym closed in March of 2020, and she had 3 of her upcoming tournaments canceled because of the pandemic. Her next national tournament was set for March 2021.
I'm looking forward to fighting because I haven't fought in it's going to be a whole year once that time comes.
Not having fought in a while, it is going to be a little more difficult because I'm going to have to get back into the groove of things. I just always tell her to continue to be her and work as hard as she can, and that'll That'll just be enough to always know what you want, continue to be who you are, and just do the best that you can. We can't always expect you to win and be perfect.
Violet finished third in the Youth National Championships. After that one loss, Violet's national ranking dropped from first to third.
I think I needed that loss. That was my first loss in a long time. I gotta work harder because I want to get back to the #1 spot because that's where I should be. I'm graduating 8th grade, so I'm gonna become a high schooler in a few months. My birthday is coming up too, so I'll be 14.
I'm beyond proud. I'm beyond proud. There's not a word. For what we've accomplished and for what we've done together, I just don't feel like people can take that away from me.
In July, Violet's home gym reopened, and she earned a bronze medal at the 2021 Junior Olympics in Lubbock, Texas. Next up, she's aiming for that #1 ranking.
My goal is to get my #1 spot back because that's what I want, period.
Probably cause I am a star and I got what it takes. Cause I'm finna go far, finna win first place, yeah.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
When I get on a skateboard, it is the most liberating feeling I've ever experienced. And whatever problems that I'm having in my life, they just go away. Yay! And when I get in a sari and I start flying in the bowl, it's just really fun. I feel very lucky that I found skateboarding. I could have lived my whole life and never found it.
Meet Orby Roy, also known as Auntie Skates on social media. She's a 46-year-old mother of 2 who started to skateboard just 3 years ago.
When I started skateboarding as a family, I started an Instagram account just to track our progress for fun and feel good about us as a family skateboarding together, and it made me really happy. Then in January of 2021, it was a particularly dark period for, I think, a lot of people with COVID, and everybody just seemed depressed. People weren't even hiding it anymore, and myself included. I think that mental health, everybody's mental health was suffering. So I created Auntie Skates as a way to spread joy and positivity. I started a TikTok account. I had never even been on TikTok before, and I took a character, Auntie, and I just started posting really fun, uplifting videos. I had created the character Auntie some time ago in improv, and I may or may not have been disciplining my children with that accent.
Hello everybody, it's Auntie. I'm out in the cold weather in Canada to do a rock to fakie. First try. Ready?
That was one piece of it. And the other piece of it was I was getting on Instagram more, and I started following young South Asian women. And I started to notice that they were complaining often about auntie. And every culture has that toxic person in their lives, the person that tries to bring them down, the person that's always judging them, the person that says, "Why aren't you married yet?" And every culture has that, my culture included. So why not be the person that builds people up? And that's why Auntie Skates was created, specifically.
And it wasn't just her age that made her stand out in the skate park.
As a South Asian woman, I do wear traditional dress often for special occasions, weddings. Any chance I can to wear a sari, I will wear it. A sari is a traditional Indian outfit that women wear, and it's a long piece of cloth that you wrap around yourself. It comes in really bright, vibrant colors. I like to have fun as a skateboarder. I like to have fun as a mom. And I took Auntie Skates a little bit further, and I put Auntie in a sari, and I skated the bowl.
Orby didn't realize the impact that she would have on others.
It was the comments that people were leaving, from the 40-year-old man who used to skate as a kid and bought a board because of me, to the young Indian girl in a village in India who said, "If you can do it, I can do it." It resonated with so many people in so many different ways.
Roy was always someone that took risks, even when she was a young girl.
My parents are immigrants. They came to this country in the 60s, and I think when they came to this country, they had culture shock. They didn't really feel comfortable raising a daughter in a new, more liberal country, and I think what happened was they kind of doubled down on their old school values. They were doing what they thought was best for me, and they were setting some standards based on their own fears. And the great thing about my parents is that they learned from their mistakes. Yes, I got a computer science degree. Yes, I worked on Wall Street. But that day that I called my father and told him I was walking away from this job, and he supported me, and my mom supported me, I knew that I would always have my parents' support no matter what crazy thing I did. And with Auntie Skates, the fact that I was doing skateboarding in the first place, they were behind me immediately.
Sadly, Roy lost her beloved father, Shamit, this year.
I've always leapt before I looked, and the reason why I've been able to do that is because of my father's support. He always had my back, and he would gently guide me.
Family support has always guided Roy, and it was her husband, and ultimately becoming a mother, that made her want to pick up a skateboard and try.
When I first started talking to Sanjeev, skateboarding came up right away. He told me he sprained his ankle skateboarding and he couldn't come and meet me and that I should come and meet him. And I immediately asked him, "Are you a pro skater?" I had no concept of adult skateboarding. And he said, "I'm not a pro skater, I'm an adult skateboarder, I just like to skateboard."
She just fell in love with it. Next thing you know, I get a text message of her dropping in on a quarter pipe and and like falling on her butt and laughing. And yeah, I think that was it. That hooked you.
When we're sessioning, which is a bunch of us skating together, we just feed off of each other's energy and we push each other to try new tricks. We celebrate together, and we also push each other a little bit. Why not?
Roy believes skateboarding has actually made her a better parent.
Let's go! Yeah! I can do it! What's up?
There's a lot of life lessons to be learned in skateboarding. I've watched my kids' confidence grow so much as they skateboard. And they also learn a little bit about perseverance. You're not going to get something right away. It's not going to be handed to you. Sometimes I'm mad, sometimes I'm frustrated.
Mama, you say I'm the drama queen. I am the drama queen.
They see all the emotions that I go through and they see me get through it. And that's what they're mimicking that behavior now. Sometimes people are at the skate park and they're a little bit nervous. And I always go to those people and say, "How are you doing? Do you need some help?" And now they do the same thing too. And just the fact that they have compassion and empathy and that they've learned that, it makes me so proud. It makes me so proud. That's parenting 101, I guess.
People ask her, "Are your kids embarrassed of you starting this thing?" And we're not. We're really proud of her. Like, there's no reason to be embarrassed. Like, if you have like a super cool parent or a super cool mom, be proud of it.
As a 46-year-old woman who gets into a bowl and skates in a sari, I want people to know that you can do anything you want. Be kind to yourself and follow those dreams. Do that thing you thought was too late to do. Do the thing that makes you happy. Auntie believes in you.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
We need to be deprogrammed. And so to say I am more than or Black Lives Matter, that's where our heart or our art comes into play. If I can paint it, if I can sing it, put it in the words of song, you'll start to reprogram. You'll start to change your mind. My name is Michelle Browder. I am a resident of Montgomery, Alabama. I am an activist in that I'm an artist. Nina Simone said it's my duty to use my art to speak truth to power. And so that's what I'm doing. We have something that no other city or state has. We have all of this history. The piece of art is really a conversation not only about the art, but history and the history that lies in the center of our town there.
Montgomery, Alabama, in 1955 was the beginning. Montgomery's traditional pattern of segregation touched all forms of the city's life.
You have the space where Rosa Parks, on the opposite side of the street, took her defiant stand, but also rode the bus to where she was arrested. And then 10 years after that, you have the Selma to Montgomery March, where 25,000 people marched from Selma to the state's capital.
All the world today knows that we are here and we are standing before the forces of power in the state of Alabama saying we ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
It's so historical. Like, that fountain has seen every aspect of history as it relates to Black lives. We have the tunnel where enslaved African people were brought. And then we have the auction block. What better place to put it than at the fountain? So within the mural, there are footsteps in red that signifies the blood and the steps that those men, women, and children took to the auction block as they were separated from their families. And then you have, of course, the hands on the opposite side of the mural that represents the city that was built by enslaved African men, women, and children. It is a sanctuary for healing, for people to just walk around and experience that history because there's blood there. Art can change mindsets, can cause paradigm shifts. And with that powerful affirmation, I am more than, Black Lives Matter. See me through a different lens. See my humanity. My blackness matters. My culture matters. My essence, my being matters. That's either going to provoke you to make a change or open your eyes to see the truth and that we've been wrong in how we treat Black people in this country.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh yes. With Xfinity X5. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
He's perfect. This is like not real.
Not long ago, these two women were perfect strangers. Now they share a bond that's unbreakable in the form of this tiny baby boy named Teldon Walker.
Do you remember the first time you held Teldon?
I do. I can't even explain, how it feels to hold him now still. It's like a gift that I will never, ever, ever be able to repay Cheryl for.
Chelsea Jovanovich was a teenager when doctors told her she would never be able to get pregnant. Born with a rare condition called MRKH, her uterus never fully developed.
It was devastating. All I ever wanted to do was be a mom.
Chelsea and her husband Jake tried surrogacy but were unsuccessful. Near the point of giving up, the couple decided to try something that seemed unimaginable.
For some reason, I had remembered where my primary care provider had given me that Time magazine about the uterine transplants. I'm like, I'm just going to Google it.
That's when a uterus from a living or deceased donor is transplanted into another woman so that she can carry a baby. It's an experimental surgery being tested for women who don't have a functioning uterus. So far, there have been 50 uterus transplants performed all over the world. 20 babies have been born.
These women have ovaries, they have eggs, they just don't have the uterus to gestate the pregnancy. So once we are able to give them that uterus, the vast majority get pregnant and have babies.
Chelsea found a uterus transplant program at Penn Medicine in Philadelphia.
And I said, well, I'm just going to apply. They're never going to pick me, but...
Why didn't you think they would pick you?
Because there's probably so many people applying. I didn't think that it would be an option for us. There's one ovary right here.
But after undergoing a series of tests, Chelsea was not only selected to undergo a transplant, doctors told her they already had a donor who was a match.
I was in shock because I wasn't actually believing that we were going to, do this.
In February 2020, she underwent the 12-hour transplant surgery. 6 weeks later, doctors implanted one of the couple's 3 embryos. The first didn't work, but the second time around...
Oh my God. I went my whole life thinking I wasn't able to carry a child. It's like something out of a dream.
As Chelsea's baby bump grew bigger, the couple couldn't help but wonder who was this mysterious donor.
All I knew is whoever this lady was, she was pretty selfless and pretty amazing.
But a few weeks later, Chelsea got the opportunity to meet the donor. Cheryl Urban, a 42-year-old Pennsylvania mother of 2 who decided to become a donor after hearing about uterus transplants on the local news. The two women had an instant connection.
Something brought us together, and I mean, even our personalities seemed very similar.
On May 18th, Chelsea delivered baby Teldon. And last month, Cheryl met him for the first time.
Really? We did this. It worked. This is amazing.
What made you want to do this?
I had 2 great pregnancies. I enjoyed pregnancy. I enjoyed the feeling of my kids. So I just wanted to be able to give that to somebody else. You know, I had my kids.
Now, these two women call each other soul sisters.
I feel like a part of your family. I'm like, every picture, I'm like, oh my God. I felt like I was pregnant with you.
Thanks to a breakthrough surgery and a selfless act.
We were all just standing around staring at each other.
I have chills.
My goodness. So let me tell you. So Chelsea tells us that in just a few months, they're going to try for one more baby with this same uterus. Doctors say while this type of transplant is still being studied right now, they are getting better and better at it and having more success. And they hope in the near future that it'll become a viable option for women with this type of infertility. So she'll do it one more time and then they'll take the uterus.
What a beautiful act of generosity from a total stranger. I'm so moved by that.
She just wanted to give that experience.
Well, what about those? They do those anti-rejection medications. I mean, I'm sure they've looked into it. If there's any impact on the baby.
That's a good question. It's hard on the body. In fact, these same medications have been studied in pregnant kidney transplant recipients, and doctors have not found any increase in the risk of birth defects. But doctors also tell us there is still, frankly, so much they don't know about the full effect of these anti-rejection medications. So that is one of the many things they're still trying to learn about. So she'll try to have one more child, and then they'll remove the uterus so that she doesn't have to take those drugs anymore.
Wow.
But I mean, it's...
And can that uterus be then used for somebody else?
I asked that same question. I don't think so. I think they're going to, 2 for 1 uterus.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a car.
Yeah. It's not both.
Well, so, and Carson just said, the takeaway here, which is the implications for the future. I mean, there are so many women who have suffered from this. She found out when she was 15.
Which changes everything for a young woman.
Life.
Yeah.
Do you tell your boyfriend in college? So this is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And those scientists are amazing, the doctors and researchers. Love that story, Chanel. Thank you.
These are the hands behind Community Loaves, a special project to donate home-baked bread to local food banks in Seattle. The group of almost 500 home bakers is led by Catherine Curley, a college administrator and avid home baker who has transformed her garage to function as a hub for twice-monthly bread collection.
Bread's been around for a long time. It's 4 simple ingredients: flour, water, salt, yeast. And each time someone discovers it for the first time, it's like magic.
What started out as a 19-loaf donation at the start of the pandemic has grown to a recent donation of more than 1,300 loaves. Carloads of bread are collected and donated to HopeLink, an area food bank that has seen a surging demand during the pandemic. Matthew Campbell is their Associate Director of Food Programs.
When I think of my childhood, my grandma used to make the best homemade bread. That reminds me of this. You can see smiles through masks. You still can. You can see the eyes go up. 600, 700 loaves of bread going out now. That's 600, 700 smiles. And it's just awesome. It makes a difference.
If I divide this up...
Catherine and some of her original group of bakers developed the formula for their honey oat loaf bread, including local flour that's sourced from wheat grown in Washington state.
A batch is 4, and we want them to donate 3, and we encourage them to keep 1 to feed them and thank them for their time, while at the same time paying it forward through the gift of the bread.
He's 76 years old. Did he try it? Yeah, he loves it.
For Sarah Ganholm, being a part of Community Loaves has allowed her to connect with her elderly father during the pandemic.
He's never made anything but chocolate chip cookies in his oven or a turkey. It just seemed like a natural thing for us to get on Zoom together and do this together. My dad now has bread, and now he's really proud of this new skill, and all of a sudden he's giving back to a community in a way that he's never done in his life.
This dough already has a lot of development.
Catherine didn't start baking bread until later in life, but she has fond childhood memories of watching her grandma Ruth bake bread and desserts. Sadly, her grandma, Ruth Wyson, passed away in August at the age of 105.
So when I visited her this summer, this project was going, and she wasn't eating very much, but she would eat bread. And she said to me that if the project had existed when she was baking bread, that she would have loved to participate.
For Thanksgiving last year, Community Loaves adapted their bread recipe to make special dinner rolls, and then they topped off 2020 with a bang, donating almost 4,000 pecan finger cookies for the winter holiday season, a favorite recipe of Catherine's grandma, Ruth. As for 2021, Catherine's greatest hope is that other cities can find a way to copy what Community Loaves has been doing in Seattle.
It's restored my faith in the collective good that we can actually do. We can be more self-determined even in the face of the pandemic.
Hi, everybody. Today, All Day Land. You're here. We're here. It's Thursday, one day closer to the weekend. And we're so happy you've tuned in again to our digital show, Today in 30.
It's a half hour of everything you need to catch you up on our show earlier this morning. And we're going to start with the new plan. It's being rolled out by the White House today to fight COVID surge, to make sure classrooms are safer, and boost vaccinations from coast to coast.
Then we've got a really touching story ahead of the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Jenna reconnects with two young women who formed a special bond at a camp for kids who lost parents on that fateful day. The inspiring message they're now sharing together.
Plus, Craig, he's in Tampa for the big NFL kickoff with the one, the only, Mike Tirico, and they're going to tell us everything we need to know about the season ahead.
And if you are looking to shake up your wake up, we've got tips to make your morning routine a breeze. We need this. So sound the alarm. It's time to start
Today in 30. NBC's Carrie Sanders is in Florida, where there are mounting concerns about kids and the new school year. Hey, Carrie, good morning.
Well, good morning, Hoda. With young people still ineligible for vaccines, the White House says the president's speech later today will focus on keeping kids and educators safe. Schools in the country are now open, but at the same time, we're seeing some setbacks, in some cases, outbreaks, and unfortunately, school staff deaths. With the country still in the grips of the pandemic, President Biden this morning is preparing to outline a new way forward in the fight against COVID-19, set to deliver what the White House calls a 6-step plan to increase vaccinations and get control of the highly contagious Delta variant, which accounts for more than 99% of new infections.
And we are still at war with the virus and with the Delta variants.
Part of the president's focus, the White House says, will be making it safer for kids to go to school. Most are now back to in-person learning, even as children under 12 are not yet able to be vaccinated. The most pressing need, according to health experts, improving testing and helping schools control outbreaks. What do you want from the president right now?
Quite frankly, simplify and hone in on specific CDC guidelines for schools.
The White House also wants to help districts trying to impose mask mandates. There have been fierce school board debates on masking. This week, a Tennessee student pleading for safe COVID practices was mocked in a now viral video.
This time last year, my grandmother died of COVID because someone wasn't wearing a mask. This is a very
In Florida's largest school district, Miami-Dade County, 3 teachers and 10 other staff members have died from COVID since the start of the new school year. All 13 were unvaccinated. Nationwide, 14 million Americans received their first vaccine dose last month, up 4 million from July. But tens of millions have yet to roll up their sleeves, leaving some to wonder what more the federal government can do to change the current trajectory.
The messages continue to be the same and they're not working. So clearly we need to understand what message will work.
So, Carrie, Los Angeles is becoming, I think, the first city to mandate vaccines for all students who are eligible. What more do you know about that?
That's right. Los Angeles, which is the second largest school district in the nation with 600,000 students, is expected to announce a vaccine mandate for children 12 and older. This is likely going to set up a debate because we've already seen people fighting over masks, and now with the vaccine mandate, it likely will lead to more protests. In Los Angeles, about half of the students who are 12 and older are already vaccinated. This comes at the time when more than 1,000 colleges and universities have already established vaccine mandates for students to go on campus. Hoda?
All right, Carrie Sanders. Carrie, thank you.
Stick around because there is much more coming up on Today in 30.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement. Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back with our special series this week, America Remembers, marking 20 years since the 9/11 terror attacks.
And as we honor the lives lost, it's important to also remember the children whose lives were forever changed that day.
Yeah, Jana recently checked in with two young women whose fathers died as heroes. You revisited them.
Yes,
Hey, Jana.
I did. You know those stories that stay with you? Well, this is one of them. I first met Brittany and Kate at a very special camp 10 years ago, and I was so inspired by their courage and optimism. Now, as we approach the 20th anniversary of that fateful day, the kids of 9/11 continue to inspire, making their communities and their fathers very proud.
My dad loved helping others, and he thought it was like the greatest job in the world being a firefighter.
My dad was like Mr. Mom. My dad was my Girl Scout leader. He was like, he did everything with us.
When the Twin Towers fell on September 11, 2001, more than 3,000 children had a mom or dad who would never come home. They became the kids of 9/11.
Their collective loss and heartbreak, an indelible image of that time. Too young to be grieving so publicly and forced to grow up too fast.
It was more than just two towers falling. It was our entire lives came crashing down with it.
But there was one place they could leave their worries behind and be kids again. America's Camp was a free nonprofit camp for children who lost loved ones on that fateful day. It ran for 10 years in the Berkshire Mountains, giving kids the freedom to play and reflect. A relief from the tears as they met other children just like them.
Just to know that there was all these kids there who were from the same experience, and all these people there who just like want to, to make us happy and just let us be kids.
When I visited America's Camp during its last summer in 2011, I met Caitlin Levy and Brittany Elschlager, whose dads worked together in the same firehouse. They became bunkmates and eventually counselors together.
It's like friends till the end, From something bad came something great, and this is definitely something great.
So good to see you.
And now, 20 years after the loss of their dads, back together again for a camp reunion of sorts.
Just tell me what that place meant to you.
It just brought out so much light and sunshine for me, and I just felt like it was also a gift that like my dad gave to me, because he would always call me his sunshine.
The young campers I met are now young women giving back to their communities, just like their dads. Caitlin is an educator and counselor.
Even though my dad is not here, I always try to find a way to carry on his legacy. He was a family man, like he loved kids, and this is what I want to do. I want to work with kids. I want to work with kids who lost a parent, who have, gone through trauma, and I can be able to relate.
Brittany is a social worker.
I worked with veterans this last year in my internship, and my dad, he was also a Navy veteran, and I felt like I was somehow doing it for him.
As we approach the 20th anniversary of the day their dads died as heroes, they reflect on the years that have passed.
What do you remember about that day?
Everyone was like, "Are you okay?" And I bottled a lot in. My first thought was like, well, my dad was a happy person and I want to be happy. But also knowing that it was okay to cry and to have feelings, I think was very important for me. I wish I could tell my 10-year-old self now, and embrace that 10-year-old self of mine.
What are your final reflections when you're thinking about 20 years later?
20. It almost leaves you a little speechless, but I think 20 years just, you look back how far you've come, and from those really dark, sad days, it's how we can laugh, and I can tell stories about my dad and laugh now.
Something that I think a lot about with this anniversary coming up is how we can kind of release that that taboo of talking about 9/11. There's a lot of beauty from 9/11. Obviously, we want to remember all those amazing people who are lost, but let's celebrate them.
Trauma's beautiful because they can get to a light with healing and dancing and happiness, and there can be a light at that end of that really dark tunnel.
I think that's such an amazing thing to say, that trauma is beautiful. I wonder if camp, along with your friends and family, is that where you found the beauty?
America's Camp was the candle in the darkness for us.
Mm-hmm. It is better to light a candle than curse the darkness.
What's up? Today in 30 family, Craig Melvin here on the field in Tampa Bay. This is Raymond James Stadium. This is where we were set up this morning for the Today Show. Over here, you can see where the NFL sports broadcast is going to take place tonight. And down there, NFL Network, some of the affiliates, everyone getting ready, not just for tonight's big game, but the kickoff of the NFL season. Football is back, baby. And what better place to start than the home of the defending Super Bowl champions? There's a pirate ship. That's Tom Brady's pirate ship. Tom will be, of course, under center tonight. 44 years old, the ageless wonder that he is, taking on America's team. Dak Prescott and his Cowboys. Should be a good game.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.